very much, Nomad. Game 1 of a grand final here between PARIVISION and Team Liquid. Liquid looking to become back-to-back champions here of Wallachia, while PARIVISION, they're looking to go back-to-back in general. They're looking for a second win off of Raleigh and really looking to tighten up. And I think we're in for a big BO5, 5 games, Lacoste.
I hope so. I mean, if we're looking at how these two teams have played so far, PARIVISION pretty much every single time did have their number in 2025, so this is the arch nemesis for Team Liquid, and we're going to be seeing if Team Liquid is going to be able to adapt. I already see some adaptations, especially with this Primal Beast. I was wondering where this hero is. This is some of the heroes that are good in meta. He's always going to be good against Nature's Prophet, but this time around they're on the same team, and also hero that scales really well. This hero kind of has unlimited damage. Panel did talk about Surge, did talk about Ion Shell as well, and I'm really glad that we are seeing Jakiro, not with the I want to deal the damage fast. It's more about Icebreaker. I want to have that extra bit of a combo, especially when you have Darkseer on the team, extra bit of a lockdown. But PARIVISION, there is a lot of minus armor.
Yeah, there is a lot of minus armor, and this Primal Beast, it was picked instantly. They went Pango, then immediately into the Primal Beast. Liquid were ready with a pick like this. You know, Liquid already, obviously, winning the lower bracket final. They had taken on Tundra and 2-0'd them and continue on their trend of going past Tundra and then taking a final. We'll see if they can continue that. But we're in a little bit of a pause on some mics getting fixed up, but we will have a go call soon. It's this Darkseer, man, back end of the tournament has found a lot of play.
Yeah, we saw some really good performances coming out from Darkseer. There's always going to be some kind of a combo that you can abuse in the game. Looking at PARIVISION, what they're doing in the top lane, taking the Watcher, Liquid is doing the same thing, so they want to get any kind of advantage they can at the start. Satanic, he's already close to the tower, so he's going to be fine.
Yeah, he'll be A-OK. PARIVISION coming all the way down and around. They'll even smoke here on Liquid to try and find somebody. Maybe they could get their hands on no one. But they do place this deep ward, potentially getting a catch or a rotation later on. Another Watcher activated, this time by Liquid, and it looks as though it'll just end up being a very quiet 2-for-2 on bounty runes.
Both teams, they know something's cooking. They understand that. We saw also some of the tri-lanes as well.
Yeah.
And they were playing into different matchups, especially against Viper, where you want to have that advantage to start. Mickey is going to TP top immediately.
He'll be top. He'll be fine. He's working with this Nature's Prophet. Gives you definitely some global presence here, of course. Mickey also not afraid to get involved. We've seen him level 3, level 4 TP in a fights, especially if he sees two heroes that are kind of in a position where he can get an assist or a kill. Any extra gold for this guy, and he is willing to go for broke. That being said, he's up against Satanic carry-to-carry matchup, and Satanic is by far the best farmer in the tournament thus far, and he rarely dies. This guy has been out of control. I mean, both these guys, I mean, they're here for a reason. See how these lanes end up progressing. We'll see Nisha against no one. What do you think this matchup is? Is Pangolier v Primal Beast?
Boxy has another blink strike.
Drop.
Will die.
Alice. Can that first pull? They might even look to get a second on a Saberlight. Can they get another shot? And they can.
Yes, they can.
Already PARIVISION with a 2-kill jump onto Liquid in the bottom lane.
Their safe lane throughout the tournament looked so good. Satanic,
oh, yeah.
They're really not pushing the limits in terms of Satanic wants to go in and die. He's averaging, as you said, the lowest amounts of death per game, which is 1.5. And we've seen some really long games throughout the tournament.
And usually PARIVISION, at least through the group stage, they were playing pretty quick, but they've had their share of 45-minute games. And Satanic always in a prime position to win this team the game. And it is, of course, a 5-man game, so it's not only Satanic, but we've seen some great performances from Ducalis too. Like you said, the safe lane is really strong. Whether it's on the Ancient Apparition or the Warlock or any other support, the Disruptor we've seen from him, he is always in a good spot to try and make things happen.
So far, they're doing a very good job in the bottom lane, keeping TA on top of CS chart. Dragging the creep wave, and also one thing I noticed is they always bring extra bit of regeneration. They understand these matchups, going for healing salves. Bucharest bringing extra tangos as well for Satanic, who's
Insania
really playing aggressive here. And Insania's gonna drop as well. Already a 1k gold lead.
Yeah, quickly up into a 1k gold lead. That Impalement Arts lands, and DM not afraid to play aggressive. And this is something that PARIVISION does that I've noticed is they break the lanes very quickly. You think you're going to be comfortable kind of standing there and trying to farm, but they just don't allow you to find your footing.
Look what DM's doing. He's behind enemy lines. He just killed a courier and is going to drag the creep wave. He doesn't want any of his CS to get denied, so he's going to drag it. Let's see. He was thinking about maybe dragging it on the side.
Boxy,
he's taking so much damage.
He froze over. He was trying to do the damage with the Ion Shell that was on him, but just didn't have enough to kill Ducalis, and now Meld Strike, Saberlight, he's going to eat so much damage.
-6.
And he's going to run all the way back to the tower, but it just costs so much.
Saberlight, one of the few times where you see Darkseer pick up Boots of Speed as his first item. He understands that in this lane, he needs to survive because there's going to be so much damage coming out. Foxy starting to play a little bit more aggressive.
Tricks of the Trade still trying to get a kill here with this Ion Shell. Only level 1 for the moment, but I could see it definitely being a problem come level 2. And he wanted to make that jump. Fortunately for Boxy, he didn't, because he would have frozen over. He would have had nowhere to go.
Threw a blood grenade, wanted to jump in. AA, pop the stick. Mid lane, no one's doing really well. He's staying on top of the CS. 22 against
big chunk.
15 on Primal Beast. And also to point out, Night Class, he's making a move.
Ooh, bottom lane again. Ducalis is going to die here, but Boxy freezes over. They've got the vacuum. They still have the Ion Shell. Now it's at level 2. Now we're starting to see some bigger damage numbers onto these heroes, and Satanic trying to go around these trees in the tower range and back to safety, and he's done so, at least for the moment. But Ancient Apparition probably not going to be so fortunate. An easier hero to kill, and he's been playing the lane pretty low health. Now Nisha forced to onslaught again. He is not having a fun time mid.
Yeah, everybody except Nature's Prophet isn't having that good of a time. And I'm looking at where the lane is for DM. Okay, they managed to pull it back somehow. Because of this move, where your position 4 leaves the lane, lane was in a relatively good spot, but those creeps, he's still going to be getting some XP out of it. We've seen DM Centaur when there was Jungle Venomancer. He really didn't have that good of a game, so this time around, Night Class definitely is going to be helping him out much more.
And we've seen DM try to mitigate that with pulling these creep waves, and they're actually going to onslaught over, saving Saberlight, who was getting attacked by Satanic. This would be a big kill for them to get to kind of even out the lane, and they do. A good move there by Nisha. Had the Ion Shell on himself as well, and knowing that his lane's not going that well, he needs to help out the side lane that was struggling as well, and he could make that move, onslaught in, get that kill on Satanic.
One of the best heroes in the game to rotate pre-level 6 from the mid lane, where you don't care too much about levels. Even without Boots of Speed, he still was able to grab that kill. Onslaught, trample, more than enough damage. And in theory, it should be relatively good game for Primal Beast. They immediately picked it. Night Class will get a kill here on Mickey.
He is dead for the first time, and hitting that Tame the Beast with the hoof stomp, that lockdown combination is not something that Nature's Prophet plays with well. No one, of course, on this Pangolier. When you go this mid-Pangolier, you go into that Thunderbolt facet. He's got an amplified damage. Nisha has to be careful. Tame the Beast lands. Another shield crash bouncing off the wall, trying to come back and forth. He'll look for the onslaught, but the speed is there.
Still going in.
No one can stay with him and get that kill on Anisha.
Boxy's here. He's only level 3. Needs to be careful.
Uh-oh. Impalement Arts, Tricks of the Trade, trying to find some distance, but
no one has no mana.
Tower, yeah, no mana to get a swashbuckle out there, which was still on cooldown anyway to get that kill. This is turning into a close to a 2,000 net worth lead. You saw it flash over for a second. Ducalis and Satanic, they are going to try and steal this shrine. Can get themselves a pushing experience. They're also going to send DM back to get his. The scan does connect. They will have Saberlight.
They need numbers. Saberlight
trying
to rush in.
Oh,
needs to be careful.
Doesn't have a lot of life to contest that.
If Templar Assassin had that talent from yesterday when there was a position 4 where you get extra 400 range when you're channeling it in Meld, they would get that kill.
But not something you
not something you want to have on your carry TA, that's for sure.
Satanic will back up. He got the extra experience, and you could tell it's going to be a long 6 here for Boxing. We've seen this before with Rickies that just don't get anything out of the map. They don't farm that well, and when they're this far behind, sometimes you're kind of left in this, you know, people used to say position 6 spot. It almost felt like
Thunder in the mid lane again.
Yeah, Rolling Thunder with the Thunderbolt.
Nisha
spins around the tower.
Get to pulverize.
And Nisha now maybe even looking to go through onto 9 Class. That Wrath of Nature came through, but they don't want to go for it. Boxy's instead going to go under the tower. And 9 Class looking to tame the beast, but he'll miss it. Boxy getting the kill with the help of the Ion Shell, but ends up getting traded.
Boxy will take anything he can right now. He is in a bad spot. You talked about some Rickies having a really bad games where they can't really do much unless they're having a good laning stage, and so far they got shut down. Even with having Darkseer on your team, it still wasn't good enough. But in this game, they will have good way of scouting things out, because you can scout for Nature's Prophet, who TPs in. That extra bit of damage from Wrath of Nature could be grabbing you some extra kills.
Definitely could, and when you've got an Invis Ricky eventually with that Ion Shell.
Still far away from it.
Yeah,
he is. Got stolen.
Yeah, it's going to be a long 6 for him, already in 9 minutes, but he is level 4. That kill did help being in that area, and Ducalis is going to stack the triangle. Trying to get DM possibly some stacks. If they want to pass it all the way over to Satanic, they could do that as well. Usually the case with a lot of these draft lineups these days is you've got multiple heroes that have the option. There are some stacks made for Liquid too. Both these teams stack quite often.
These are the best teams in the tournament in terms of stacking. They always heavily focus on it. We saw yesterday a game when Tidebound was playing where their stacks got stolen.
Yeah, they had 14 or so stacks to like the 5 of their opponent. They got them all stolen. So 9 Class, Tame the Beast, killing Insania. They dropped the wall looking for Satanic, but you got the refraction off. It won't matter. That Wrath of Nature bangs out. Now Saberlight will be rolled over by no one. They get at least this initial kill, get a second. No one has been everywhere, but they want Mickey to go in with the onslaught, the pulverize. The Ice Blast comes in, and they will get the kill onto no one, at least there. They need to back off this Primal Beast, who needs to be careful with the Ice Blast on him, but Mickey doesn't have to be. He's got a triple kill. I mean, this is the one guy who's having a good lane for Liquid, and then he comes in and exacerbates the problem.
We saw what Mickey can do on Nature's Prophet. Every single time he plays the hero, he does kind of own, and also getting good chunk of XP. Boxy, level 5 right now, collecting some of the XP in the top lane. Desperately needs that level 6.
Yeah. Okay, with this Nature's Prophet, only 1 game, no wins. 9 Class here with DM. And DM's still cutting the creep wave. He wants this early Blade Mail. He's gone to the double bracer. So he's going to feel real tanky already. Maelstrom picked up by Mickey and faster than the average. So Obs does have vision here of 9 Class. Nisha. Ooh. Thought about maybe swiping a courier. They could grab these stacks if they can attack and get into this, but there's 3 heroes around the area for PARIVISION.
We saw the same move yesterday from Liquid. I think it was game 1 where they kind of lost the game. Game was pretty even. They made the exact same move, smoking up, going for the high ground. And this time, PARIVISION, they will not let it go.
At this point in the game, that is one of the quickest ways I've seen a stack taken. Double-edged shield crash, tame the beast, and the whole triple, quadruple stack was gone. Nisha shield crash it. He's in an odd spot. Gets shield crashed there, and if he wasn't able to onslaught onto the high ground, that's a really good spot for a Thunderbolt rolling Thunder.
If they get close, Boxy trying to steal some of that XP. Hiding behind the trees. He found the spot, but not for long.
Yeah, dusted, and now going to Tricks of the Trade up onto the cliff, but he'll still freeze over. They've got not only the vision on him, but also taking out that Observer Ward. Rolling Thunder committed.
Haste.
We'll pick up this haste. And no one's still looking at over at Nisha. Doing so with this Diffusal Blade. So he had the inhibit, but he goes in too far, and no one. He's going to die to Insania.
That's way too deep. They wanted to go for the combo, but again, they have to respect the fact that Primal Beast does stop your ulti from going on. It just stops it completely for whatever reason that is.
Commit the wall to that. DM's here to react. Satanic's still farming. He's down about 1,000 gold on Mickey, who is just really up there. He's about to take a tower. He's already level 10. He's really close to this Mjolnir.
A very nice read from Satanic. TP's away. That would definitely be another one of his deaths. Gets hit by a dagger. Bailment Hearts. 2 points in Surge is going to keep him alive.
They also got inhibited too, but there's that Mjolnir. So delivered.
Very fast timing on that Mjolnir. Triple kill that he got.
Yeah. Was a lot of gold.
Exploded his net worth. Fastest. 12 seconds faster than the previous record.
Taking these stacks, and they had that obs there to kind of protect it to see if anybody came over, and that'll run out in just a moment. But Mickey still getting a lot of gold out of this, and they are going to smoke up, maybe look towards the triangle. They aren't going to find this Nature's Prophet, but if they can sneak through in between the towers, they may get him on this outer ring. And they know that the shrine is up in 20 seconds.
Stampede in 10. Insania's in a good spot. He got scouted.
Great smoke break. Stops them from contesting this shrine. Really important considering that the last shrine was taken in Liquid. This is actually not going to time out well enough for them. I think he's going to just be short. Yeah. So he'll TP out with the smoke cloud down, and they will split shrines, but he tried. I mean, that is amicable to try and go and get that shrine and steal one back. Just the timing didn't work out for him. This for now, taking a look over at Satanic. He's got Deso. Dragonlance Desolator finished. He just needs that courier to respawn so he can get it delivered. And then he's going into the Blink Dagger. Fox is going to find 9 class. They'll go to the Stampede, but he's got the tricks of the trade. The Wrath of Nature comes in. Ice Path, Hoof Stomp, all traded out.
Wheel of Wonder's ready.
There's the Blade now. Wheel of Wonder, Ice Blast hits on the 2. And all you need is a double edge to maybe clean up. But they get Saberlight, they trade DM, and shattering is Boxy. Also, Nisha's dead to no one. Mickey gets 9 class as he TPs over. But this is a 3 for 2, and Nisha, he ended up dying bottom.
Yeah, you can see the power of their lineup. Having these relatively small circles, I would say, but still getting quite a lot out of them. And now with Templar Assassin, Deso, as you said, they're going to go for Roche. Team Liquid is not going to be able to contest it. They have good shards. They have the one on Ringmaster, a lot of the times seems like okay-ish, nothing too crazy. It's very good against the illusions, and he's going to be the one getting it. So Wheel of Wonder, I believe it didn't proc in the end. They turned around immediately. It was a nice Tame the Beast. But what an AA blast. Hits onto 2 of them.
And that came all the way from mid, still timed out the right way in that position. Bucharest gets a double kill. We've seen some Ancient Apparitions a la Whitemon yesterday. He had an amazing game as Ancient Apparition, and you could see the difference a farmed Ancient Apparition can make.
Yeah.
Top tier 1. That'll drop. DM gets that one, and you can see the Ancient Apparition picks a lot of Radiant wins. Dire, not so much. They'll find 9 class. They think about the Rolling Thunder. The Pulverize is already used, so you can't grab him up. Drops down that Spotlight. Tricks of the trade. 9 class trying to run. Gets the Wheel of Wonder to taunt them up. They've got the wall down, but 9 class is still alive. They get the kill in a Boxy. They'll look over at Nisha. Here comes the Ice Blast. Ooh.
It should be
just
enough.
Off the mark.
Ooh, it actually missed. He has Regeneration Rune, but yeah, losing both of the supports immediately. Team Liquid, they feel like they're strong right now, moving together. Boxy, he had a pretty shitty start to the game, but he already has Road of Athos, which is going to be always good against Pangolier, keeping them in spot. We saw people try to go for it instead of going for Diffusal Blade on a position for Ricky. I believe it was Mira who never really finished it. Not until like 30 minutes. It was a really rough game for him. But if you get your level 10, your level 15 on Ricky as well, Smokescreen Radius, you can turn that into Gleipnir as well. AoE becomes massive. Nick is getting scouted.
Can they kill him, though? And this is a ward they placed going for that 14-minute shrine. That still sees him. Though, 9 class, he's in a whole bunch of trouble. Ice Path was thrown down by Insania, and that's what caught him initially. Boxy getting that information. So is Nisha going for the BKB on the Primal Beast? He's almost got it. He's one component away. Big, important standard item here for the Primal Beast to kind of have that freedom to do what he wants in these fights.
Usually we see Blade Mail in between, but also he didn't have that good of a lane. So going for a BKB, there's nothing that goes through debuff immunity. Satanic jumps in, cleans him up, gets that first Deso charge. Nisha. Let's see if they decide to go in. Piggy Pole. Way too deep.
Yeah, didn't have access, I believe, to the inhibit while he was chasing. 15-second cooldown on that for the Diffusal Blade, so he couldn't slow him down anyway. But the Rolling Thunder, of course, being shorter with the Thunderbolt, so didn't really have enough to catch up. But they still go deep. Nisha, who was just bottom, now back here over in the top lane. Looking to maybe catch no one, who's closing in on this Aghanim Scepter. This is Boxy leading the charge. He could get the silence out, and then maybe they could catch him. And there's the smoke cloud. Mickey is here to try and get the damage on him. And with the Pulverize, they take an easy kill. But here comes Satanic. They look for the damage. They've got the hoof stop. They go to the Wheel of Wonder. Ice Blast connects, and now Mickey's in trouble. The damage from Satanic kills him off instantly. Saberlight's here with Nisha. They've got a vacuum on to 3, but they don't quite have the damage yet. Ice Path Macropire catches 9 class in a bad position, but Saberlight is dead. 9 class gets away. Satanic now focusing his attention onto Insania. He's on the run, but the trap slows him up. He looks for an Ice Path that connects, but DM is still here. 9 class dies to Nisha, but Insania falls to DM.
What was supposed to be easy pickoff onto Pango kind of turned out really bad for Liquid. Losing Mickey there, they have to respect. 2 Blink Daggers, they can easily close the gap, and they're also fighting so much before they're getting BKBs, and they are losing some of these fights. Satanic with that Deso. Next time they lose a fight like this, they could definitely turn it into Roche. Liquid doesn't have any like real big ulti cooldowns other than Wall. Sure, Macropire is there. They also try to combo it, but it wasn't perfect. I think Insania needed another extra second or so.
Combo there from PARIVISION looking good. You can see the potential of the Wheel of Wonder as well as the Ice Blast. And Mickey just trying to continue to farm as he's got Insania nearby, but nobody's going to be going for him as they don't have that OBS in that triangle anymore. That was an OBS that they placed down earlier when they were going for the Shrine. He's looking for the BKB on this Nature's Prophet. Might help him kind of get it out of a position like that. And no one's going to have this Ags finished in just 1 creep. They'll get that delivered. In terms of big items, you've got Blink Blade Mail for the Centaur. He's going into the pipe. He's got 1,800 gold towards it, but the big man on campus for the side of PARIVISION is, of course, Satanic, who's going into a Daedalus BKB.
Let's see if they decide to smoke up, try to grab a kill. Roshan's now on Radiant's side. And this is something that Mickey has been doing a lot, and other Nature's Prophets as well. Use that Mjolnir early on Greater Treant Protector, push for the extra wave. XP Rune is about to spawn, DM.
In the circle, but the onslaught, the blade mail, the hoof stomp now trying to leave, but has no one. If they chase a little bit too far, pops that BKB Stampede, but they've got the Rod of Atos coming out from Boxy. The rest of the team is here for the side of PARIVISION. They look for the Tame the Beast. They've already used the Pulverize. That means this Rolling Thunder can do whatever it wants. Wheel of Wonder is down. Mickey off to the side. Look for the damage under no one. He's stunned up for the moment. Satanic putting some right clicks into the body of Saberlight, but everybody escapes on Liquid in what looked to be a decent position from PARIVISION that just didn't pan out enough.
They needed an extra bit of oomph. They needed one more hero to be there immediately with DM, and he also doesn't get boxed, but he doesn't get into Escape Act. Wheel of Wonder doesn't really connect like we've seen in some of the previous fights. And Team Liquid managing to get a dub in this one.
Keeping it close, 35 kills in just 22 minutes. Both teams constantly looking to kind of put the pressure on. They know that they've got these high-speed farmers on both teams. If you can cut the map down, you can slow them down. It's a little bit tougher, I would say, to do so to Mickey, who, even if his map's a little bit smaller, with the teleportation access, you have easier ways to get across the map and maybe farm on the PARIVISION side. He's looking to get this BKB, and there it is. So BKB finished for Mickey, and he'll have a better time in these fights. He's topped the network by about 600 gold. He'll find Boxy, he'll freeze over. Dakalis gets another kill, and that's an Ancient Apparition, who is currently sitting at 5-3-8, involved in 13 of these 21 kills. Some quick math for you. The whole time, Satanic, like we said, he wants that Daedalus, and he's already got the Chrysalis. Darkseer Ags next. Is this the item you want to see from Saberlight?
Let's see if he decides to commit for it.
Saw earlier a Hex on Darkseer.
We saw, yeah. If they feel like they need a little bit more control, he could definitely go for it. Aghanim Scepter with normal punch. True Strike is always good. It's not like they have Butterfly or anything, but creating Illusion out of T8 is pretty good. Not the best one, but...
Blink. Pulverize. Boxy's here with the silence. Tame the Beast, the Fear Mickey immediately, and he wants to get this kill. They pop the Stampede, but they just don't have the ability to get out. Liquid with a quick gut punch to this Pangolier. Trying to rip off the shell and do. They'll look for 9 class, but he gets behind the tier 2 tower, no reason to dive too far. PARIVISION heavily favored at the moment, but they're only up 2,000 net worth. Satanic losing that that recipe on his courier.
That's Daedalus gone.
It's 900 gold. Do you just...
I mean, it seems like he's switching to BKB because his courier is going to be dead for so long. So he can go to base.
Interesting.
Needs another 1,200 gold to finish off that BKB, and with the speed farm that he had so far, can definitely finish it off. There's a lot of minus armor. You have -6 from Deso, -14 combined with Meld, and also -13 on Pango.
How do you deal with all that minus armor if you're the side of PARIVISION? For right now, Crimson Guard might be an answer for DM. Got Lotus being built for the Pangolier. Shard is going to be bought by Ancient Apparition. We've seen how important this Shard can be. Having that extra bit of lockdown. Definitely set up here for PARIVISION. Those extra Death Rhyme stacks. We've seen the Wheel of Wonder Ice Blast combo that has worked out for the side of PARIVISION too.
Haven't seen many escape acts though. A lot of the times,
really.
9 class, he's committing with Wheel of Wonder. Could buy a little bit more time. Seems like they're thinking about taking this fight. Team Liquid, they will be ready.
This could be dangerous. No BKB or anything for him. But they've used the Pulverize, the Onslaught. Now, Rolling Thunder's going to come through. Ice Blast onto 2. They've got the vacuum into the wall, but it's only on a 9 class. Mickey with the BKB early, trying to put the right clicks down onto no one. They got Dakalis. The Ice Path is there. Satanic in some trouble. He doesn't have the BKB. He doesn't have the Daedalus, but he does have a Desolator and some damage. But the Sprout is there. The damage from no one on a box. He cleans him up, but they still lose. Satanic DM's in with a Blade Mail. Tame the Beast hits on a 3, but it's not going to be enough. They'll get the kill there on a DM. They'll look for 9 class, who tries to TP out and will. It's a double kill for no one, who finishes off the Jakiro. Both supports lost on Liquid, but now no one needs to leave. He's got this Diffusal. Saberlight, though, kind of baiting him in, goading him to fight. As he's got this Ghost Scepter to stay alive, and another Pulverize available with the vacuum. They kill no one.
Played by Saberlight. Primal Beast and Nature's Prophet, they're going in, and they have no abilities that go through debuff immunity. So for good 9 seconds, they can easily go in and do whatever they want. And you can see that Pango, he's starting to struggle more and more playing against Primal Beast until even though he has Shard, he still doesn't have Lotus Orb, he still doesn't have Lincoln Sphere. So every single time Primal Beast is going to be jumping in. Nisha was also holding onto Shield Rune. Even though it was a good blast from PARIVISION, AA Blast, Ducalis landed it on 2. They were still unable to kill 2 of these heroes. They were not connecting onto the same target. And you see the power as well. from Primal Beast, Iron Shell on top of him, plus the Surge, so he's trample, deals insane amount of damage.
Uses that BKB to retreat, has that onslaught with the blink there. Mickey gets the kill on a Satanic. Almost enough here from 9 class if the Fear maybe had a little bit more control with the hoof stomp, but just falling short and ultimately losing DM. Pulverized on to 9 class, he gets ripped apart. The look for DM, I mean, Hell Stampede. We'll see if they can stick with him. Still slowed up, Wrath of Nature comes in. There's the trap to try and slow Nisha, and the TP attempt will be stopped with that Ice Path coming through from Insania, and another kill for Liquid as they start to pull this game certainly towards their favor.
It should be a Roche for Liquid. They have more than enough damage, more than enough sustain. They don't even need Nisha. He's gonna go on a different side of the map. Ducalis thinking about maybe stealing this XP rune, but Nisha, he's been on the defending duty of these XP runes. That's gonna push him closer to his level 20. And also to point out that he did go for Provoke the Beast, which makes him super tanky. Every single time you get disabled, you immediately get 3 uproar stacks. So Feared, Silenced, Rooted, Hex, Taunted, pretty much anything will give you those stacks.
There's a lot of that on PARIVISION. Get that Aegis, and Saberlight's gonna commit to this Ags. One of the weakest names, I'd say, for an Ags upgrade. Normal Punch.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. Nothing too crazy. It's not like amazing punch or deadly punch. It's just there. I think we could, especially for the cost. You pay 4.2k gold just to get a normal punch.
And it really depends whose normal punch is it. Is it my normal punch? Because that's no damage. Is it Francis Ngannou's normal punch? That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Jake Paul's as well. This guy's really good. So I heard. They're smoked up, Nisha. I really love the way Nisha has been playing. He's not too afraid to jump in and just lock onto a target. Has amplified damage. Needs another 1,500 gold to finish off his big item. Shiva's Guard, which is going to help with vision and slow down. This lineup for PARIVISION relies a lot on Satanic having a really good game. He's doing okay, nothing too crazy. Nisha.
Blinks away. Radovato's thrown under 9 class 4 staff. Now the stop on the 2! Oh, the damage from Satanic. What a job from DM. And Saberlight is going to die there. Triple kill for Satanic.
All right, we came from normal punch, from okay play so far from Templar Assassins, that this is amazing. The rest of the team, they were ready to back him up, and suddenly this game kind of flipped immediately. Nature's Prophet was not in that fight. He was farming on the other side, and the combo. Yeah. This is the first time we're seeing like the big full combo, laying the spells. Everything is on point.
This Blink Hoof Stomp.
Very good 4-staff. AA ulti, just heroes immediately disappearing. Wheel of Wonder didn't even do anything.
Yeah, it was all the damage from Satanic with the stun from DM. They call him DM, it stands for damn, man. That was... Phew. Still looking for that Crimson Guard, and I mean, that is, like you said, just such a turnaround. The damage was instant. They never had a chance. Now Ducalis is gonna die here to Mickey, but they might respond to this. He's staying. Pops the BKB, throws the damage
Mickey
onto no one.
Physical.
He certainly does. He's got some help from Boxy, and they'll get the kill onto no one. Now he's got to fight Satanic. Triple kill for him now. He's got no BKB, though. Satanic looking to win the fight. The Sprout is there. He gets the Aegis taken away, but they've got the normal punch, and Satanic goes into the meld, but he is in trouble, and he is dead. Just like that, Liquid say, it's your game. No, it's our game. It's hot potato.
Man, Mickey. Deeping in, getting a solo kill on Ducalis. I also want to check the stats whether this is the first data. This has to be the fastest data list because they usually build into different items on Nature's Prophet. You want to see, you know, a lot of the times Revenant's Brooch, sometimes you go for Parasma as well. But this time around, all about that physical. And yeah, now he just finished off Satanic.
Uh-oh.
This is a big, big, massive move from Liquid.
I thought he was in trouble. I know he's got an Aegis, but
no one also thought he was fine.
Oxy finally comes in and...
Not respecting that damage.
Yeah. Oh. Pulverized, 9 class. He's going to be dead again. Has buyback. Sending these heroes packing.
Becky's level 25. This has to be the fastest 25 on NP.
And he's already got
32 minutes in. Like, you're going to lose your barracks. You lose one hero, 25 seconds without Templar Assassin. He doesn't even have buyback. So this might be two sides. They have another glyph ready, but there's way too much damage coming up from the heroes.
Look, what was that? I mean, the two treants this early in the game, they three-shot the racks. 17,000 building damage.
In a matter of seconds.
Yeah. What was that?
And he's staying one item ahead. Once he finishes off that butterfly, Templar Assassin, he needs to start thinking, I need to get MKB, but you're also running out of slots, so power treads need to be sold. I think he needs to go all in on items.
Hit the scan on a Mickey.
He's ready to go.
Pops the BKB. No one. The damage, the physical damage, you need to be careful. They're coming through the other side of the fight, though. Impalement Arts lands on a Saberlight. DM maybe looking for an opportunity to get a blink into a hoof stomp. But Nisha waiting on the high ground for an onslaught pulverize. With the building damage that they have, you lose a fight right here, they rip through the tier 2, tier 3 and racks over top. There's no way you hold it.
Your heroes are not going to be good at defending against Mega Creeps. You're also playing against Nature's Prophet 25. There's no Dagon. There's nothing to deal with that Greater Treant immediately. DM. Gonna pause the game. Check some of the stats on Nature's Prophet to see how much damage this hero actually does. And yeah, it's way too much. Greater Treant. Suddenly, it's a 86 win probability for Team Liquid.
Yes.
The game looked pretty good, especially after that one very good spellcasting team fight where they immediately deleted two heroes. They got Saberlight afterwards. Satanic needs to jump out.
He loses himself in the air and he'll survive long enough. Soaking in the Satanic damage. It was a close net worth race between Satanic and Mickey, but now look at where the Nature's Prophet's at. Almost 32,000 net worth, 33 minutes into the game. I mean, this is quite the farm here for a Nature's Prophet. And these Treants are going to be tough to deal with. Not sure if they saw that body block on the Treant there, but they are coming south and he is already out.
What a read from Mickey. And full butterfly. This is the item that you couldn't buy before, but now ever since Nature's Prophet is Universal Hero, it does feel good. It gives you insane amount of stats, and Mickey sitting at 500 damage when he's close to the trees.
Yeah, well, that Spirit of the Forest can be quite brutal. But even without trees around him, he really does still pack a punch. Roshan may respawn in a minute 40. They're not even at this second Rosh spot yet. And a lot of what is, you know, happened so far coincides with the fact that the first Rosh went to Liquid, where PARIVISION wanted it with TA, as is usually the case with TA lineups. So the speed up on this Liquid lineup really paying dividends, and PARIVISION down 12,000 net worth. Uncharacteristically, Satanic has died 4 times in this game. When your average is 1.5, 4 sounds like a lot for you.
Definitely does. Roshan may respawn in 50 seconds. Let's see the clock. It's going to be just around that. A minute. Boxy. He's ready to jump.
Ooh. Satanic, Hurricane Pike, but they have the Yules from Boxy. Ice Blast is going to fly through, but they go to the Pulverize. That'll freeze him over, stopping the Pulverize, but the damage on the Satanic!
It's too much.
Oh my god! 2,500 damage from Nature's Prophet in the span of a TP attempt. Amplified damage bottom. If you're PARIVISION, you hope that they don't see that. I don't think they really need it.
He needs to buy back. They're going to lose the game if he doesn't. You're going to be playing against Mega Creeps. Your buildings are going to melt.
No Ice Blast, and look at the buildings. Well, continue to look. They're just getting glyphed for a moment, but they are going to melt very quickly, like you said. Double Treant is a problem. Singular Treant, also a big deal.
50 seconds. This is a long time. Mickey has his BKB available.
Rolling Thunder, buyback use, Ice Blast coming through. Mickey gonna pop that BKB. He'll force staff back further near some of these allies.
Nisha caught him.
The pulverize. They go to the vacuum wall coming in from Saberlight. It's on a team as well. Satanic. Nisha, he comes in. They've got the lockdown on a Satanic. GG is called. Liquid take game 1 over PARIVISION.
Oh man, what a performance from Liquid. After losing yesterday, they really stepped it up. This instant Primal Beast pick was kind of what sealed the deal, even though he didn't have the greatest laning stage.
Much Nomad coming into game 2. Liquid are riding the wave of momentum at the moment and trying to take a definitive lead over PARIVISION in this best of 5. We'll see if they can accomplish that. Good fatal bonds on this early fight. Mickey's in some trouble, but the shackles aren't going to do enough, and they'll get the kill to Mickey. So DM getting that first blood, and PARIVISION already looking to even up the series with a first blood and work from there.
Oh, you do not want to give first blood to offlane Medusa. This hero, we saw him play multiple times, had a lot of success with it, but also when you hit your early item timings, when you get that double null talisman, it allows you to sustain yourself in the lane so much, and then you're going for Meteor Hammer. We saw a lot of damage in the previous game coming out from Mickey. Medusa, this time around, she's not going to be able to achieve the same numbers, but it is very annoying to play against Medusa. And also looking at their heroes, this offlane Medusa with the itemization is going to be able to achieve quite a lot. You're playing against Darkseer, you're playing against Ember Spirits, a Road of Aethos/Gleipnir is going to be set up for your spells. And also, they talked about no one's Monkey King. Yesterday, they played against it. He didn't feel too comfortable on the hero. They allowed him to play it one more time, but this is heavily Monkey King favorite matchup.
And with a heavily favored Monkey King matchup, maybe we'll see no one make rotations. Speaking of a little bit of fights, though, we've got Satanic who gets burned out. Boxy gets the last hit, and he'll survive.
Foul play. It's on cooldown for 2 minutes now. You also don't want to give up these early kills to Warlock. He's already on 2 Black Grimoire. If he got another one, it really starts to add up. Suddenly you can jump from level 4 to level 6, 7-8 minutes into the game, and you can invade enemy triangle relatively easy with it.
One of the things in the last game that Saberlight didn't have early was that level 3. He took a little bit of a delayed time to get to that, where he had that level 2 Ion Shell. He was working with a Riki, this time with a Shadow Shaman, so it's more about Saberlight being the one who's going to be at the front. It's not the same style of Darkseer lane, but they are looking like they want to put the pressure on to Ducalis and Satanic as much as they can. And like you said, you don't want to give those Black Grimoire stacks over. We've seen games with Ducalis get not a quick 6 from using the Black Grimoire, but get into a quicker 12 with it.
There's different situations. Whether you find something, that's why you keep it open for a long time. Click it, get that level 6, find a good fight for yourself. But if you're already level 6, your spells don't matter that much, so sometimes you see, especially if you're doing well, you're just gonna keep it and use it to get that extra bit of XP. Boxy trying to pull the lane here, but Ducalis is not gonna allow him to do so. Also, he needs to be careful playing against 2 boars. It is quite a lot of damage. We also saw very interesting stuff coming out from mid Beastmasters, where they're sending out boars to the side lanes. This time around, it's not going to be the thing. No one also doesn't need any kind of help against Ember Spirit, who is sitting at 7-0. Monkey King 13-7.
And no one's going to have a pretty easy time, like you said, and we'll see if he ends up rotating. I'm interested to see what 9 class builds on this Terrorblade, but hold that thought. Saberlight getting some help with the Shackle, but does he have the damage? The sustain with the Shadow Word means that they're really not doing enough at the moment.
And he's getting tipped. He used that Ion Shell and the range creep, which they're not going to get too much value out of it. They might even deny some of the creeps because of it.
Yeah, getting a bunch of denies. They've got the Fatal Bonds here. Boxy in trouble.
Foul play.
Run back,
He's
and
ready again.
He is still alive. Gets the shackles onto a Warlock, who's just out of the range of the tower, but this is going to be foul play going off, and the Axe is getting the kill from Satanic. Saberlight's not exactly sitting here with a lot of health, and he needs to be very careful about his positioning, but now DM, no mana left, but not going to go under the tower.
Ooh, Ducalis will get that kill, so has 4 Grimoire charges. He's level 4. This is getting pretty ridiculous right now.
He can't even activate the Black Grimoire yet.
Yeah,
when he gets it, he is he's gonna have a lot more than this. I feel like this lane has been so aggressive. I mean, they're even still sitting under the tier 1 tower. They don't really fear too much at the moment, but they've been split up. Collis went over to the right when he was attacked by Boxy with the
Satanic
chicken
has 12
fingers.
magic wand charges.
He
Mom,
does, but this
I want
lockdown...
more chicken fingers. And that's it. It is enough. Grab them to kill. It's a very good trading spell. It's a 15 cooldown ability. Boxy, some good body blocks. Level 2 Ion Shell is ready.
And they've got another Shackle.
That's a level 2 Shackle as well.
This is 2 kills for Saberlight. Chase them down under the tower. They stayed too long. They weren't afraid. Maybe they should have been.
Not your traditional partner for Ion Shell, but if you can surge him on top of it, Ion Shell will still deal the damage. He gets on top of it. You can hold him in place. They also have no stun, so nothing to stop the Shackle with.
Nothing at all.
He's squaring up. He might be able to get a kill here. One more hit. Who's going to get it? Ooh,
Tower.
No one.
Tower gets the kill onto no one. No one gets the kill on the Nisha. Boxy, though, chased again. Chicken fingers or foul play is not enough. And foul play back on cooldown.
Wait, he had 4 Black Grimoire and didn't get 1 for this kill. What am I missing? It's still at 4.
He's 1 and 3.
Yeah, but he had 4.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he did. Because you start with 1 and 4 assists that he did get.
He's been shortchanged.
Pause the game. We have another. Just kidding. Maybe I didn't see correctly, but let's see how Mickey is doing in the top lane. 2.5k gold on him.
Not bad.
Not too bad.
Satanic having a good time with the amount of kills that they've gotten in the bottom lane. Satanic usually the ones who's just kind of working here with the Warlock to get it. But both of them just have 1 kill each. A bunch of assists. And Senia, we'll see if he can have a good Ancient Apparition game this time around. This hero has had quite a lot of impact, had a 70% win rate at Raleigh, but here in Wallachia, only 45%. So something's changed with this hero a little bit, in terms of at least just the win rate. Nisha not level 6 yet, but Boxy's nearby. Saberlight also kind of edging towards the mid lane. That 6-minute rune went the way of no one. He's got that arcane rune working for him. And having control of these power runes, especially against the Ember Spirit who might want to rotate over, could be pretty important. Looking to see what Liquid can do to kind of answer this early lead. But this is a similar story to what happened in game number 1, right? PARIVISION had that early lead, but then they also stole this shrine. This was the same thing that happened as well. Bucharest is here, has
Like
the Shadow
is ready.
and
he's going to pop it, level 6.
yeah, goes to the Chaotic Offering, and foul play won't
Surprise,
matter,
surprise.
but Saberlight is here. Ion Shell froze over thanks to the Cold Feet, but the Primal Roar is used, and Saberlight's dead too. They want to get maybe a 3rd hero gone with the Golem. They're going to take the Shrine. Ducalis gets that, and Satanic doesn't die with the Shadow Word on him. He's healing through it.
All these small items that he did buy. Raindrop, Magic Wand, Power Tread, and Strength.
Oh, no.
They need to help him out. Nisha is level 5. Boars are slowing him down.
The Golem is here. Just needs a little bit more control. The axe is thrown out. Down goes Nisha. Satanic still alive. Finally, they'll find the Warlock.
Warlock's level 7.5.
But no one's here with the Wukongs and a Boundless Strike. They get off their Warlock and they have to run.
This is what we were talking about.
no.
Black Grimoire. He reads a book. He was playing Ancient Apparition in the previous game as well. Another hero with the book. This guy is very smart. All that knowledge, and no one will be able to close it out. Almost level 8 minutes into game. Higher level than pretty much everybody other than Monkey King.
We have talked about the Ducalis Warlock and that Black Grimoire, and he reads a helping friendly book that really helps him throw down a lot of damage onto Liquid, and it's 10-5 and a 3,000 net worth lead already. That is so tough from Liquid, especially Nisha not having level 6. Ninequest did die during this time, but he turns around knowing that no one's here.
Nisha's
Balance
still
strike
level
with a
5.
Jingu, and Nisha's dead again. He's 2 levels behind a Warlock.
Woo. Rough one for Liquid. Nisha, I gotta give him respect. He tried to square up against Monkey King in the mid lane. Needed 1 extra hit to be able to get the kill. His game would be so different. If he was able to grab that kill, he would be level 6 in the bottom lane. With 3 remnants, it would be much different.
Oh, no.
Primal Roar's ready again.
Oh, no.
Liquid, they're falling apart.
Game 1 went Liquid's way, but PARIVISION within the series already want revenge.
There's always a chance when you're playing against PARIVISION, though.
Yeah, they're
They're
get that
stomping the
lead.
lanes, but between like 10 and 15-minute mark, they always have this one bad fight. They got to get it out of the system.
Yeah, they extend past like the tier 2s.
They just need to find that fight. But PARIVISION, they're looking really crisp in this game. DM left alone in the top lane. And again, even more pressure onto the mid lane. No one.
He froze over. The Wukong's committed. Nisha has slight but no chains. Wukongs will keep them at bay. The whole time they're trying to get the Gyro to farm, and he's up at third of the net worth, but you can see the difference between him and a very farmed Satanic. A Beastmaster of all things. He is going to be
He needs one more
soon.
component for Aghanim Scepter on top of his power treads. Level 8. Nisha gets the rune. Another golem is ready.
Blood Grenade. Boxy, he stepped up on this. Chicken Fingers, now he's got the Shackle, but the Chaotic Offering ready again. Cold Feet's gonna freeze over no one. That might give Boxy an opportunity to TP out of this. Mickey's also come over, and with the Rocket Barrage, oh, Boxy stops the TP, maybe hoping to get control onto no one, but he's just too far away.
Mickey joins this fight. He understands that he also needs to be slightly more active, considering that the rest of the lanes are not really going well. He's the one who has the most farm on the team, but look at the difference between him and Beastmaster. All those kills. Did they also steal the XP rune? I believe they did, so yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Position, level 5 Shadow Shaman, and Ancient Apparition, level 4. He's not having a good time. It's also not that good of an AA game. Sure, against Monkey, against Aghanim Scepter on Beastmaster, but there's also Sunder, and you're also playing into Medusa, which kind of doesn't do anything.
You're gonna need much more farm on the Ancient Apparition because you're gonna need that shard.
It's
that
more
gold
about those
feed.
levels rather than him getting any kind of farm, because right now he's really struggling. They need to leave him the lane. They need to have this available.
What can they do to kind of negate this lead? I mean, they are, like we said, kind of hoping for the PARIVISION special, where they dive in a little bit too far, and maybe it would have been that Shrine fight bottom if Nisha had a level 6. That could have been that moment. But now, DM, he's got himself that Meteor Hammer. Minute and a half faster than the average.
Not the record, but he's going to start to use it on the mid tower. They have no stuns other than Vacuum, other than Shadow Shaman, so they need to bring one of these heroes. Maybe they can try to punish, because this is something that DM has been doing when he's playing Medusa.
He's going to freeze over. Stonegaze does complete the transformation of Nisha to stone from fire. However, they've got the control, but do they have the kill? The shackles are there. The cold feet is on the Medusa, who's not dying. The call down. Do they have the damage? Finally, yes, they do. Mickey gets the kill with the call down. The Wukong's almost doing enough to keep this Medusa alive. Fatal Bond's on Anisha, who will remnant away. 9 class, though. He's chasing. The question is, does he want to continue to chase? There are heroes coming over, and no one's actually the one coming in with Balance Strike. Goes back up into the trees. Hides for a moment, jumps down into the river with the rest of his team, and starts to back away from the Liquid lineup.
They're going to smoke up. Amplify damage is ready. They don't have too much HP on Shadow Shaman, and then they do have on Ember Spirit, but it seems like they're not going to find anything in the triangle. Maybe they expected that Beastmaster is going to be farming there, but look at what Satanic is doing. He's going immediately into Roche Pit. 12 minutes in. I want to see if this is the record so far in the tournament on Aghanim Scepter on Beastmaster, because it does feel like it's like at least half a minute. Well,
3 minutes faster than average, but not
a
the
record.
fastest.
So somebody had a faster one.
Whoa.
This is still super fast. Liquid not finding anything in the triangle other than the stack. This was fine. I mean, they are going to be taking any kind of trade they can. And again, both of these teams heavily investing into stacks. 8 on both sides, even though they've been fighting quite a lot in the bottom lane.
Oh.
Foul play, chicken fingers.
And Axis, but the neutral.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, still got it. Whew. Almost got griefed by his own passive. Foul play. Kept him alive a little bit longer. They were looking to get the kill, but they don't. On top of which, Nisha TP'd out. So are they slowly progressing towards a comeback? They're down 6,000 net worth, but Gyrocopter going for this Ags, has this early Crystal's Falcon Blade. is Mickey's damage enough? Has Nisha recovered well enough to kind of help out?
They need to bring Mickey to the fights. Otherwise, their damage is very, very limited. Shadow Shaman doesn't provide you with much unless you drop down Mass Serpent Wards. And also, Ember Spirit, he's not really having a game. He has Phase Boots, Gloves of Haste sitting on 800 extra gold. And there's already a Mage Slayer, which is going to be such a great pickup on Monkey King. You're playing against AA, Darkseer, even Gyrocopter. He deals insane amount of magic damage.
The difference was that fight mid, that 1v1. Nisha just lost it, and then off that, lost his game. Remnants away, and he's getting some gold out of this, but you can see the difference between him and no one, and it is a massive difference. He's almost getting doubled in last hits. The GPM is up there, over 200, almost ahead. We really need to enable Nisha somehow, but it might just be him going for the Sleight of Fist Searing Chains in the addition of the fight.
They want the Tormentor. It doesn't seem like Liquid can contest this. You get close, Fatal Bonds, which is level 4. They have more than enough sustain. Shadow Ward. Beastmaster did go through the gates. Let's see who's going to pick it up.
I figured. You know, he doesn't have Upheaval skilled up anyway.
It's just the way it is.
You should be disqualified from getting the Shard if you don't have access to the upgraded ability.
His imp still gets something from Fatal Bond, so that's like 50-50. But yeah, not having Upheaval, I agree. You should not be able to get it unless you have it skilled. And back again through the Twin Gates. Now gonna TP to the mid lane. He's all over the place. Satanic. Maybe you could check his heat map because he's been pretty much in every single lane so far.
Certainly
15
has.
minutes in, managed to kill Roshan, managed to kill Tormentor.
He has been moving all over, almost has this BKB. BKB Blink Nullifier, and you can see the heat map. There's blue everywhere. You can see it. It's not as red as bottom lane. Obviously, he laned there, but you can see that he has been in plenty of places.
And look how deep he was. That XP rune, when they invaded, was pretty much what opened up the game for PARIVISION. Team Liquid trying not to bleed too much with this Aegis. Being held by Beastmaster. And I really like the fact that we're seeing so many nullifiers being built so early on. Not just from the carrier role, but also position 4 Terrorblade. When 9 class played it, that time he did go for it. This time around, opting to go for a different itemization. You see Ancient Apparition, you buy Glimmer Cape. That's just the way it is.
Going for the Glimmer and getting a lot of farm here. He's got that Shard early, so he's got the Demon Zeal to help himself farm. Nobody really here to help Nisha if he wanted to try and get anything out of this bottom lane to get a kill into the Terrorblade, so he's just got to farm up this creep wave. Eventually, he will have the Shadow Shaman joining him. But a minute left on this Aegis, and Liquid, kills-wise, haven't given up that much. But the fact that PARIVISION can farm so much of the map, they've extended their net worth lead pretty heavily. Even throwing the Ice Blast, but that's not gonna connect. Chaotic Offering. Ooh, Croaker. I think that was Tendrils of the Deep that locked him in for a second. Mickey looking for the damage. He just doesn't quite have it. They still want to go for no one. They've got Boxy with the Shackles with Serpent Wards there. They get the kill on the Monkey King. Wukongs will linger for a couple seconds, and maybe they can get anything. Backline. Running away. Nisha over to Ducalis as well as 9 class. Saberblade throws the Ion Shell on him, but they just get the one. But that is very much worth it from the side of Liquid. And Nisha kind of in a hard spot because there's 4 heroes going after him, and they've got the Remnant at least patrolled by 9 class, as well as DM.
He should be fine immediately. Liquid starts to play on a different side of the map. Saberlight trying to get something out of the bottom lane. Mickey immediately into the triangle. And this is how they played when Monkey in the game 2 yesterday, where they were punishing Monkey King heavily. I think that's exactly what they need to do. Get on top of him, Shadow Shaman, Ancient Apparition, plus Ember Spirit. It is a very deadly combination, especially since they're starting to get more levels. 9 class. Still has Sunder available.
Hobbs is there. For the side of PARIVISION, Radamatos comes in. Ice Blast thrown onto 9 class. Shackle's immediately spotted, and this is...
They need plus
support's
one.
Dead. Yeah,
These
they really needed more.
They just don't have enough damage between themselves. And I said very important that they are building Glimmer Capes. Both the supports on side of PARIVISION are getting one. Him.
Glyphed. He's still putting that pressure onto these towers. There's no tier 2 mid. Massive lead for PARIVISION. Gleipnir soon for DM. They've now got the Mage Slayer on the Ember. Gyro's got that Ags. He'd love to get into that BKB. And we saw it last game, right? You get to that BKB, you've got that big damage item with the Crystallis Ags for the Gyro. Obviously, it was with a different carry, but you can get to that point where, given the right positioning, the fights work out. We'll see if they can get that from Big A. It's going to be tough.
Give Shadow Shaman 5-10 move speed, please. It just feels miserable to play. Moving across the map. At least he has Tumbler's Toy, so that's something. Has Keen-Eyed, extra bit of cast range. But some of these heroes are just like very, very unenjoyable to play because of the speed that they move at. 9 class, going into the triangle.
Oh, Tumbler's Toy actually forcing the BKB. Balance Strike connects. The creeps will block Boxy a little bit. Fatal Bond's placed on him and the creeps, but Saberlight surging away. And they got the BKB and the Wukongs out of the hands of the Monkey King. Not bad. This is maybe an opportunity for Liquid, again with this Ags on the Gyrocopter, but Insania now. Link. Primal Roar,
ready on Insania.
They need to get McKay out, but they can't. The Gleipnir's there. They go into the Ice Blast, but the damage is too much. Insania, Boxy, both dead. Saberlight on the run. He'll surge.
They're gonna get the kill anyway.
Will end up dying. At least there's that, but still a 3-for-1. Not sure how worth it is.
They needed extra bit of help. They needed Guardian Greaves. They needed something else. Maybe Surge to push him out. And now they're going for the high ground. Meteor Hammer, again, ready in 15 seconds. With Golem. Illusions from TB. They're dealing quite a lot of tower damage.
Gorgon's grasp is pretty big. Need to be careful about getting locked down with it. Another Meteor Hammer dropped down by DM. Saberlight kind of moving forward. 4 staff, Searing Chains. They've locked down 9 class, and they'll get this kill onto the Terrorblade. They get one. Maybe they can find another in the Gyro, or in the Warlock and the Medusa. And they do use that Remnant. They Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. Shadow Word is there. They've got the Fatal Bonds onto 3, but they don't have Chaotic Offering.
Roar ready in a second.
He's back into the fight.
Ready to jump in.
Looking for the opportunity to blink and then go for the Roar. The call down's going to get used here. It's going to drop down into Ducalis, but they go to the Primal Roar.
Air Blast immediately on him.
Coming in. Satanic in trouble. He's dead. This might be that moment we were talking about. They go for DM. They get Ducalis. That's 4 heroes gone on PARIVISION.
They're fighting
no
inside
one's in
Wukong.
trouble. They'll fight the Wukongs. The BKB is popped, but no one trying to fight and get out of this. The Balance Strike with the Shard upgrade. He'll be able to jump away, but Nisha low blocked a little bit. The Remnant for some distance, but these reflection illusions will not be enough. They catch 9 class again. They dust him up. They've got the cold feet, but you got to be careful. He's got that Sunder. You can't let him get it off, and they won't. They've got another kill here for Liquid.
Dart Chase potential is through the roof. With Surge, with the Blink Daggers. Ooh, that's a lot of gold, a lot of XP going his way. Still, very good fight for Liquid. Managing to get 4 kills, getting the BKB, getting Wukongs. Nisha is chasing. Let's see if he's going to be able to cut him down, and he did.
He got it with the Quelling
got it
Blade.
with the Quelling Blade.
Oh, Nisha. Where's the help? No one. He doesn't have a BKB. He doesn't have a TP. But he has the Boundless Strike. And that might be good enough to get to Kalis, to get that Shadow Word, to get that heal and escape Liquid, who might have had a chance to get this Monkey King.
What was the chance? I think there were 2 or 3 threes around there, so either 50 or 33% chance to find the right one. Boxy's in again.
Shackle? And he's got the
nice. The Tumbler's Toy gets out.
Didn't jump out of it, though. Now, Tumbler's Toy makes sure he's out of the Serpent Wards, and they are going to get this kill onto no one. Ice Blast for good measure, and that will be Insania's kill. Boxy making big moves, thinking outside the box.
This is what they've been talking about, Jabs. He mentioned it, that they have the heroes, can deal with what PARIVISION do have, and so far, for the first 20 minutes, it hasn't really been working out, but they hit this big timing, they find the opportunity, kill Terrorblade, start to chase them down, and what a play from Nisha.
Seeing him towards the bottom of the cores for net worth. I mean, he had no game. And now he's caught up to Saberlight and DM. And he's back in it. And it's still a 7,000 net worth lead, but a lot of that is support net worth. 5,000 of that 7,000 is support difference. So how much will that make a difference in fights if they are able to kill the supports first from Liquid or from PARIVISION?
Should mean a lot, especially with the Shard, and also Roshan is available again. Satanic changing his item build, seeing that Medusa is trying to buy a Nullifier. Great against Ember, great against Darkseer. All of the support items are also not going to be working once you get on top of them. She's not the easiest one to use because a lot of the time she's staying slightly further away from the fight, but Nullifier still has pretty good cast range.
Scan from the Dire as they move down towards bot. Won't find or intercept Satanic yet, but they might clash. Ooh, it's kind of close. Ships in the night at the moment. No GPS or sonar to detect each other. They pass by
here.
Satanic.
Boxy, he sees him.
Does he want to make that jump? He knows that one stun means his shackle is gone. Gleipnir kind of baiting. They're going to Boundless Strike, but they're a little bit weary about jumping in. They go to the reflection from 9 class. Cold Feet does freeze over. This DM Medusa, Ice Blast coming in, but Saberlight's caught. Call down was used. This might not be a good fight for Liquid anymore. They do not have this Darkseer. They'll find 9 class, they'll rip him apart, but now they turn it on a DM. He's shackled, he's hexed, controlled. BKB from Nick is going to be on time.
Charges. Can he get it off?
Kill the Boundless Strike. They jump to the other side of the Serpent Wards.
He's stuck
they're
again.
all caught. Satanic
Fatal
and Noah
bonds.
were caught for a moment. They'll try to get the kill to the Beastmaster, but there's the Glimmer Cave, the axes, the damage, the kill. Mickey's got Nukalis drops. They'll finish off Boxy. The Remnant from Nisha, though. Can he at least get Satanic?
Isolated.
Oh, Boundless Strike. Insania and Nisha both die. A full team wipe for PARIVISION.
PARIVISION, they got the key hero immediately out. Killing Darkseer before he can get any spells off, so that means no Guardian Greaves, no Pipe, and also look at the damage from Warlock. 3,500 damage coming out from him. Fatal Bonds constantly sticking on the heroes. PARIVISION, they want to go for the high ground. SNY completed on Beastmaster. No one. Ready to deal some damage to the range barracks. Let's see what DM can do. Avai Meteor tried to drop it, but Saberlight is ready with Vacuum.
They're going for Roche, but they'll have Boxy.
Boxy's been doing a lot of
DM's got
work,
that
keeping the
shard.
distance. Even though when he gets initiated on, he still gets out of trouble. Tumbler's Toy, very valuable item.
Ice
Can he
Blast.
snipe him? This is
Ooh,
massive.
Not
Glimmer Cape.
the timing.
They have another Glimmer Cape ready, so he should be fine.
Almost sniped Roche. Diffusal now for 9 class. It's just gotten harder now to get the control on the DM as well. He's got this shard, so he's got that cold-blooded, which mostly it means you can't initiate on him with this Shadow Shaman.
Shaman, it gets pretty difficult to play Shadow Shaman once you pick up that shard.
Going Nullifier next. Monkey King wanting that Sanjinyasha. Mickey's got a lot of farm. He's going into his own Sanjinyasha. Dukalis, DM. Gorgon's Grasp, vacuum back into the wall. Dukalis is going to die, puts the Fatal Bonds onto these heroes. Boxy ends up getting killed by Satanic. They throw the Ice Blast over. Satanic's actually hit by that, and no one forced the BKB. 9 class is here with that Diffusal, looking for the inhibit. Jumping forward, no one. Now the Primal Spring. They've got themselves the Gleipnir to get some control, and Mickey's in trouble. He has to be surged
Right
out.
clicks
That
from
means
Beastmaster
Saberlight's going to be getting himself killed. But they look for Nisha, who will try to remnant onto the low ground. Gets away from the side of PARIVISION. Mickey will too. Or at least... Oh, no! He TP'd right by no one!
They see him. They have Sentry Obs as well, and there's also amplified damage. Beastmaster is doing way too much damage in this fight. This is why the combination between him and Warlock is working out so great. Every single fight, 5,000 plus damage coming out from him, and still holding the Aegis. Again, they're gonna go ready.
Sun
Get that high ground.
Isha?
Isha, oh
Isha.
no.
Well, 9 class getting a couple of tips, giving a couple of tips, and
Level 16 on that position for Terrorblade.
Primal Roar, Satanic more than enough damage to at least get the foul play out. Boxy, though, hit with Ballast Strike after trying to turn around. Bergen's Grasp doesn't land. DM doesn't have a lot of mana. But the Mystic Snake will come back and fill him slightly up. High Class has this Metamorphosis, and now they've got the Warlock Upheaval with the extra attack speed. Saberlight, Vacuum, pulling into Ice Blast. That'll connect, at least onto Night Class, and he ends up dying.
Can they chase? They need to get something more out of this. DM's relatively low on mana. We'll pop that ulti. Nisha, and he got the Remnant.
DM gonna try and TP out right in front of them. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, Chaotic offering a little bit late. They got themselves the call down. DM's gonna end up dying in this
holding
situation.
The gem.
They will get the gem on the deck. They'll look over for Dakalis, who's got the Shadow Word. Satanic and no one are kind of waiting maybe to turn this around. They've got Primal Roar and an Aegis to work with, but they see the Shackle, the damage is there. They'll split up and leave. So Liquid gets some sort of salvage in this defense, but still PARIVISION up 12,000 and still feeling pretty good with this Aegis for another minute 45.
They didn't see that gem. DM will use his courier and reclaim it.
Yeah, the big body of Medusa kind of blocking it.
Yeah, it would definitely be worth it if they got that gem. There's 2 Glimmer Caves available on both of the supports. He managed to save it. Still, some of the good fights from Liquid, considering how far behind they are. They're still fighting pretty nicely.
Are they going to try and cut this courier off? Does it even become hittable at any point? Very fair, very balanced to just be off the map.
Ooh, and now full refresher on Beastmaster. That's a big item. He has been relatively low on mana throughout the whole game. Did die 4 times. Somebody will need to replenish mana somehow. Gonna go for another Tormentor.
This time it's a Shard for Satanic, so he gets even more net worth under his belt. Have the extra Hawk. Increase summon duration. There's a Disperser for 9 class. You never know the builds when he's playing this terribly. He has gone 10 different ways from Sunday on...
it was him who also didn't have that
TV.
record before. He's like, guys, I gotta play faster. Gotta break another record on this Terrorblade position 4.
So what do you do if you're Liquid? Aegis expires, but are you still trying to fight, or are you trying to turtle and hope to high ground hold?
They have pretty good combo. We see them execute every single fight. Ancient Apparition into Vacuum combination, and then Gyrocopter comes through. But it's also very difficult fights. Beastmaster jumps in, he locks onto a target. That target is immediately dead. Even with the 4-staff Glimmer Cape, Solar Crest, and Insania, heroes are gonna die.
Satanic smoked up. So is DM, so is Ducalis. Looking for an opening, but they have bought a smoke on Liquid. Maybe they're looking to fight. They are split up quite a bit. Saberlight's pushing out the bottom lane with the Ion Shell. And now they sneak in through the base, trying to find anybody from Liquid, but they're not home at the moment. They've broken in, but the alarms aren't on. Nobody's home to hear them. But these heroes are around now, and now they finally re-enter the home. And they need to be careful. Evil is afoot.
Mickey wants to have Satanic for the next fight. He's so close, needs to farm another camp, and there it is. Has the components to do so. Will make him much more tankier in the next fight. They also have no ways of stopping that Satanic. They have nothing, like no real reduction, no vessel, no corrosion. So he's gonna be getting the full heals, and on top of that, he does have Vampiric, so extra lifesteal and extra spell lifesteal.
Should be good to keep him alive if he can get a little bit more under his belt. You feel even more confident. Not sure what he's gonna go for next. Nisha wants his Shivas. He's also holding on to this Whisper of the Dread with Vampiric as well. Haven't talked too much about this Dark Seer, but he's gotten greedy. So Ninja Gear with the Greedy, plus 100 GPM, extra mana.
You
Doesn't
farm
really
with your
right
Iron
click
Shell
for that
anyway.
much. Yeah.
It starts to add up, knowing that this game could go slightly longer, so wants to get that extra bit of a gold. 75% win rate in 4 matches for Saberlight.
Having the minus 60 attack damage is the poor man's normal punch. Make it weak enough. That was Darkseer's Courier that just died, I believe. Had a couple of the components on that Lotus Orb dead. That plate mail, that energy booster, both gone. At least for the next 2.5 minutes. PARIVISION kind of slowed down a little bit, maybe waiting to the next Roche. Maybe they can find a pick-off here at the 35-minute Shrine. They are setting up a Satanic, but they did smoke his 5 from Liquid. 9 class, he's the one at the front. He's the one they'll throw the homing missile at.
We'll use it.
Throws him on the high ground, so Disperser or not, he's still going to die with nobody else to help him out. Gorgon's Grass, think about the Chaotic Offering. They got the route onto 2, but Nisha's right here with DM. A little fire thrown over, thinking about the homing missile again. They go to the Wukong's command. They've got the Primal Roar. They keep him inside the circle. And can they keep him alive? The Chaotic Offering's there. Nisha's dead for 70, no buyback. They have to turn their backs, so they'll turn to stone. They look for the Meteor Hammer. Mickey's going to get hit by it. Throws down the call down. He's going forward, but hit with the Nullifier. No one's waiting for his moment to jump. There's another Roar with the Refresher. They go to the Ice Blast. That's a little bit short because the vacuum pulled him away. I'm not sure it's going to matter. They get the kill on a Satanic. They look over at DM is trying to TP out, but the homing missile's there. They'll get another one. Liquid, without Nisha, have held on. They get 3 kills, and they are massive here as Roche respawns right as the fight is victorious for him.
Ooh, losing Terrorblade like that immediately, so you don't get the Sunder, even though they missed the full combo. It looked like it's gonna hit on multiple heroes. Ancient Apparition Blast with Vacuum. This time around, it was not ready, and you can see the rest of the team, they realize we need to push whoever gets initiated on by a Beastmaster. We need to have multiple Force Staffs. Nisha sacrificing himself for a greater good.
He gets caught by the first Roar. The Wukong's used early expenditure of some of these ults to get this kill on Anisha, which is very important. I'm not going to try and take away from that at all. And then DM uses this Stone Gaze, and he's got this Gleipnir as well as the Meteor Hammer that Mickey even walks through. But you'll see here the miss of the combo. And Senior looks for the Ice Blast, and it's just short of the vacuum on 3.
So fast on that Hex. Didn't see that first time, but immediately
no one.
Saberlight did tip him.
Gonna look for swiping this Roche, by the way. He's on the only tree with the fist. Now he's spotted Vacuum. No one.
Saberlight knows.
Strike to get out.
Does Boxy.
Call down Ice Blast and the Shackles. Oh, he's just far enough away. But the homing missile, they get the kill into no one. And Aegis has been picked up by Mickey at the same time. Stone Gaze expended and Liquid have an Aegis to work with and a way back into the game.
We said PARIVISION, they always have a couple of these fights where they throw away the lead. Massive lead that they did have, but Team Liquid, they're fighting so nicely. Boxy's doing quite a lot of work. He also does have Hex Break, so that's going to help a lot against Monkey King and against Beastmaster. So you can disable Drums of Slum.
Big damage and Drums of Slum to take away. They've got an Aegis now. They push the Tier 1 tower. And this is a game that is starting to feel pretty close to even.
Scaling is definitely on side of Liquid. Monkey King, even though he has a lot of items, some of these Wukongs, they're not keeping them inside because they have very limited lockdown. They need to pair it up with a Beastmaster's Roar, and then the heroes are going to start to die.
They turtled, they bought their time, they fought at the 35-minute Shrine time, and it's their time to shine. Liquid. They are pushing through. They got the Tier 2 top. They've got the Refresher on Ancient Apparition already. The Refresher shard. Sorry. I was mid...
We saw some of the really early shards on Insania. Like 35 minutes in when he's playing Silencer, he does have Solar Refresher ready. Okay.
You can be early. This is just going to be the Aegis if they get the kill. They've got the Gorgon's Grasp with a Chaotic Offering getting committed on this one, but Mickey pops Satanic. Now they go to the Ice Blast. That lands on a Satanic.
He's turning and fighting.
He needs to run. Aegis gets used, though, and that allows Satanic Satanic to get out of the fight. The Remnant on the other side of the game. They go for the Meteor Hammer. They look for the Ice Blast. That flies over.
It's
now,
not enough.
Boundless Strike hits on a Mickey. They start to turn away, but this is not going to be enough from this second Ice Blast. They'll at least get a set of racks. They did lose the Aegis for this. Serpent Ward's committed. Wall down. PARIVISION. They couldn't defend the racks, but they do survive. The only one who doesn't have buyback right now is no one.
They have double force staff, but they can't really save him. Mickey is turning towards the enemy 2 times in a row, but still managing to get side of barracks, sacrificing that Aegis. They're gonna smoke up. Can they find something? 9 class, Boxy.
Looking a little bit further, but they still had Nisha to find 9 class. They'll have the control. They get the kill. He's the only one on the side of PARIVISION who doesn't have buyback at the moment, as well as no one. So 2 heroes now without buyback. He just had it available. But I assume he bought that Mithril Hammer, and that's why he doesn't have it. Because 2 moments ago, he did. It doesn't look like it's going to cost them. I don't know if Liquid are going to go forward without an Aegis, because they showed that they could still get the kill here onto the Gyrocopter through the Satanic and through what he has at the moment. So they might play this a little bit slower, which means there's 5 more minutes. If they don't, though, no one's still working without a buyback. And that might be their opportunity to finish this game. Nisha doesn't have buyback, neither does the Ancient Apparition of Insania. They are pressuring, they are putting a bit of a posture over on the tier 3, but we've seen plenty of teams
half HP already.
Send their carry up onto the high ground, die and lose.
Need to be aware of Wukong's command, the double roar. And Satanic is getting closer to his level 25, so that's going to be minus 30 seconds on that Primal Roar. And also I want to see what Mickey is going to itemize for. I see Butterfly, which is good against Beastmaster because he deals quite a lot of right-click damage, great against Monkey King.
Boxy in a position to break the smoke, but the Balance Strike, the Glaive near the Force Staff doesn't matter with the Nullifier, but he got the Hex, he goes to the Shackles, now the Ice Blast flying in. It's short, though, of no one, and Satanic's just in! He's just dead! They bump back on Boxy. Oh, 9 class with the Sunder. It's on the Saberlight, but he surges away. He survives. He had no life left on 9 class. Now Saberlight finally falls to the reflection from 9 class. They get the kill there, but the Shackles onto the Monkey King. No one. He does not have buyback, and he is dead for 90 seconds.
Saberlight, he has buyback of his own.
He's
still chasing.
Misses.
As another Remnant. They know exactly where he's going.
Remnant. And another sight, Searing Chains. Down goes Ducalis, and down goes the tier 3 mid. They'll buyback on Saberlight. Mickey looking at tier 4s. He wants to know if you've got buybacks. He's knocking on the door for a finish. They've got the wall. They have the rocket barrage. DM's mana's getting drained out. Satanic's going to be forced to buy back, but DM's going to die, and he is going to be forced to buy back too.
Butterfly now completed on Mickey. He wants to end the game. Vlad's as well on Shadow Shaman. They're going all in.
45 seconds without the Monkey King. 25 without the Terror Blade. More now than ever.
He's
they
ready
need
with
to
the
hold
Lotus.
3v5.
Saberlight, he has one job. Get that Lotus before Roar hits.
Meteor Hammer, Nisha in the face of DM. Call down used to try and push them back. 25 seconds remain for no one until he's back into the fight.
TB's out in 5.
They've got a
Last
glyph. They'll have 9 class up. So it's a 4v5, but the Sleight of Fist, the Searing Chains that lock down Satanic and Ducalis. The throne is exposed. The Gorgon's Grass is there. They go to the blink. They've got themselves the Primal Roar. But there's the Ice Blast. It lands onto 2. They've got themselves 9 class. They get the kill to the Terror Blade. Another Primal Roar on Anisha.
But
the Ice Blast looks like he'll shatter, and he will. It is Liquid drawing it all the way back, and they've got a commanding 2-0 lead over PARIVISION.
Man, Liquid, they played it so crisp. What a performance from the team.
Very much. No, man, coming into game 3, Team Liquid have a commanding lead and just need one more to lock up this championship. And Lacoste, you were really happy with this last pick or shaker.
Yeah, it looks very good for the game. Also, these two teams, they do stack a lot. So I want to see if he's going to be using that Echo Slam to get his own stacks, or there's a chance for them to invade into the enemy triangle and try to steal some of the stacks. Because you get close to Earthshaker, you're just going to evaporate. And we saw that teams are kind of leaning towards that as well. And there's an interesting thing happening where they want to have Mickey against Templar Assassin. They want to have this matchup just so that they can try to outnumber them with... Because something Templar Assassin doesn't really deal well with is the summons.
And we'll see if Mickey can get that matchup. Right now he's up against DM in the bottom lane. If they're going to have that teleportation and maybe go through the Twin Gates, a little bit easier to kind of alleviate that situation when you've got Twin Gates to go through or TPs to use. Palman Arts lands on a 9 class, but nothing doing to get this kill onto the Ricky. Early on, see how the matchup goes, because for Saberlight at least, he's getting run back to the tower, and Ducalis, as well as Satanic, will take some damage here from Insania, but Saberlight needs to be a little bit careful. This is definitely a hero, though, that we've seen plenty of times before. Get a couple of bracers, get a couple of levels, and the support doesn't exactly need to be there.
Very self-sustainable if you're off to a good start. Right now, he's sitting at 3 CS, 9 class in the bottom lane. Not your traditional lane by any means. Ricky and Beastmaster in the safe lane, playing against 2 range heroes, playing against Summon, so 9 class is not going to be able to achieve much, but if he's going to be giving some of extra XP to Beastmaster, if he's getting the levels, and have in mind, this is also Wild Hunt Beastmaster, so he's going to put in more points in his summons. We'll be going for the Helmet the Dominator / Overlord.
Not that typical Ags build. You're not trying to be the damage dealer or the main damage dealer on this lineup. It's reserved probably mostly for Satanic here, and we'll see what no one ends up being able to accomplish with that puck. But a little bit of back and forth on these camps. How does this mid lane matchup work out? How does Earthshaker do against Puck?
He does get a lot of denies, as we can see already, playing against Enchant Totem, and I was looking at it. Nisha's doing a very good job using that Slugger, extra bit of... You can die in this matchup if you're low enough, but I think these professional E-athletes, they are getting better at, you know, even though this is not the most common mid-pick by any means, but you see 3 heroes or 4 heroes being very low, that Slugger hits you, you can definitely grab a kill.
So using those impalement arts from the Ringmaster onto the boars kills them. So he's getting a little bit of extra influx in gold, but Boxy, that being said, he's going to be killed here by DM, and unfortunately with that, his TP is going to be on cooldown. He'll have to make the long walk back to the lane. Wanted that Lotus. Then ended up getting picked up by 9 class. So they knew when to play that little position aggressive when it arose. Still looking at this mid matchup. 13-3 to the 16-9 here for Nisha, and he's going to get a 10th deny out of the flag bearer creep. And Nisha having a very good time, it seems like, for now, compared to the first 2 games.
Yeah, this time around, Liquid, they are not losing their lanes. They're keeping it even. Want to see what's going to happen between 5 and 10, but they also made some massive comebacks in both of these games. Satanic going in underneath the tower.
Yeah, Saberlight on the run under the tower. Meld strikes there. Satanic gets the kill. Mickey will make the TP over. Ducalis, he'll run. I think Mickey's attention is onto Satanic, but he'll focus onto Ducalis afterwards. Now get the Sprout onto Satanic, who gets the Refraction. Has 9 class for the body blocks, and since they chased and got the Jakiro, it put them in a vulnerable position for the turnaround play with that Ricky.
Let's see if they decide to keep these lanes. Right now, Mickey doesn't have much mana to work with. Can pop the magic one and go back to the bottom lane, but seems like Saberlight wants to be playing into this one. And if PARIVISION wants to react to it, Satanic can't TP to the bottom lane, have this matchup that he doesn't want to play into. But considering that he got a 2nd kill as well in this lane, could feel pretty comfortable for the next minute or so. Especially once he finishes off that power treads. Level 1 meld is insane amount of damage. Extra 70 damage, -5 armor. You jump in with Ricky. Ricky's lurking around the top lane still. Thinking about maybe going for some backstab play.
To find somebody. He doesn't have a lot of mana.
No, and he also doesn't have Blood Grenade, so it's gonna be much more difficult this time.
Ooh.
With Ducalis, he's bringing in that Blood Grenade.
9 class just popped to Clarity, ended up getting it stopped by the Insania immediately. So not getting a lot of mana back off that at all. Has enough for one of the 2 spells for the combo. Makes that jump as Ducalis, though, top. Blood Grenade used, Mickey in trouble, and he's gonna fall. They froze over Satanic, but again, this is another game in which the lanes feel strong from PARIVISION. However, this time around,
they want to play
Mickey's
with
not
deficit. they're putting the challenge on themselves 3 times in a row now. PARIVISION.
They want to be behind 30K and make the comeback this time. Insania looking dead to rights, and Satanic dominating 6 minutes into the game. Luckily, this hero doesn't have a Black Grimoire. Otherwise, this one might be over. Mickey again, sprouting, but holding himself in the tricks of the trade, and this is a tough lane all of a sudden for him.
Let's see,
Talus is also
level
here.
6. They definitely need Shaker to become slightly more active.
Ice Path lands, and they get at least the 9-class kill, but Mickey has to really run it back.
Yeah, because all of these things, there haven't been many stacks made. In the triangle for PARIVISION, none. 2 camps for Team Liquid in the triangle, so that's about it.
3-2 from both teams who are usually big stackers. Saberlight's by himself, but no one's here with the haste. He is level 5. See how easy of a kill this is. Saberlight roared at level 6, has that record-breaking Helm of the Dominator hoof stomp. 9-class also at the same time stealing the shrine. And Nisha's here. And Nisha's actually in trouble. They've got Dream Coil. They have Mickey for the rotation. They drop down the Echo Slam, but they look for the fissure that lands on a 2. Nisha still, though, in trouble, dies. 9-class, he'll fall. The sprouts around DM. The Wrath of Nature gets the kill, and no one needs to be careful about jumping in. He'll TP away.
Again, Liquid losing the XP battle. PARIVISION seems like they're bringing in extra hero every single time. But this time around, at least they have a little bit of global presence, so Mickey TP's in. Trying to make a move onto Satanic, who is level 6.
Already level 6, this time going Lance first. We've seen, of course, I mentioned with the TAs already before, the different builds we see from Templar Assassins. This isn't turned out of control just yet, where we see Liquid down about 3,000-4,000 early on.
Trouble.
They do find Boxy on the Ringmaster. No one's going to get that kill. Ducalis has been everywhere. I mean, this guy's not stopped moving.
Again, PARIVISION, they have this tempo. They have a lot of tower damage coming out from your Templar Assassin. Beastmaster, this time going for Wild Hunt. You said it's record so far in the tournament, going for the Helm. Because usually we do see the other facet on Beastmaster opting to go for Aghanim Scepter, but still going to be pretty good timing on them.
DM taking the Twin Gate to top and looking for a Primal Roar, but Mickey has backed off the lane for the moment. Has 2 bounty runes to pick up. Tame the Beast, no one. Jaunting away from this side of Liquid as Nisha is up right by him, but not sure how long he wants to commit because there is Ducalis here. Ice Path, Dream Coil, it's available if they want to dive it, but under the tower it's a little bit dangerous, especially with both supports here for Liquid, so they'll back off for now. They're losing these towers, though. It starts with the Tier 1 top. We'll see if DM makes a rotation now that he's got access to the Helm of the Dominator, maybe for more and invading the jungle and squeezing the map for Liquid.
This is where Liquid would start to farm up, get some stacks going. Centaur is also a bit on the slower side, I would say. And there's the Echo Slam. He wants to get to his Blink Dagger as soon as possible, which also means that Saberlight can get the farm in the triangle.
Dream Coil came through to get the kill into Insania. Boxy kills off 9-class, a trade of supports, but then with DM here, now they're going to go for the tower. They get the tower, and they get themselves an Ice Path onto the Ringmaster, but trying to jump away with the Whoopee Cushion and ends up dead anyway. So still falling, and it's 10-5 with a 2,000 net worth lead. You know, Liquid very familiar with a game like this against PARIVISION. They've done it twice this series already.
Question is, can they do it 3 times in a row? I think PARIVISION this time around overall have the best draft in terms of keeping the pressure, because they have very good heroes to take the objectives, a lot of tower damage. Helm of the Overlord is going to be also insanely good timing. Pre-15 minutes, you will have Deso available on your TA on top of Dragonlance.
Waning Rift onto the Earthshaker and just missing that Ice Path. A lot of these games have been saved by Mickey, who's gotten himself into some quick farm in prior games. Right now, behind both the Beastmaster and the Templar Assassin, trying to get into the Mjolnir.
Map is so small for Liquid right now. They're also blocking the camps, invading the triangle, clearing what's left. That's why Mickey needs to start farming in these outer ranks. Nisha, very close to his Blink Dagger. Needs another 200 gold.
They found Mickey. They can start with that Dream Coil. He's going to need some help at TP over. He's going to be in time. They've got the escape act. They also use that Stampede. They sprout to Kalis and with the Impalement Arts and tame the beast with the Mickey Wrath of Nature, and they get a kill. That's a good turnaround there from Liquid. They're also maybe thinking about continuing on to no one. 9 class is here, though, so you need to be careful about how far you go. They'll have Mickey TPing to the other side. Impalement Arts won't land. Sprout's also off the mark. Ice Blast coming through, though. That lands on to no one. They've got the Fissure, but can they keep up with him? The Silence, the Tame the Beast, fears up DM. Echo Slam committed, and they get the kill onto the puck. So another fight that's gone on pretty long. The chase from Liquid is well enough to get this kill into the puck, and they can start to retreat and not give up anything in return.
Trap. It's going to be a lot of slow. 9 class ready to jump in.
Ice Path. Ooh, Nisha. He gets killed by DM, and now Blood Grenade, escape back, Cold Feet on a 9 class, but the body blocks. Mickey sprouts himself, but now he's hit with the Roar, and he's dead too. They give it right back.
That was a really long chase. They chased him for good 35, 40 seconds, which did allow PARIVISION to TP to the tower, just enough time to respond. And on the other side of the map, you see Satanic. He keeps on farming.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped, whereas Mickey has come to fight. And unfortunately, with the multitude of deaths that he's had, it slows him down on the item progression that he wants to make, and big favoritism coming through for PARIVISION with those numbers. Out of Atos being built for 9 class, this is not like the other Ricky games that we have seen where it's a Ricky that struggles to find any farm. So far, 9 class, he's working on a Rod of Atos, and the timing looks like it's going to be pretty decent. They'll have that extra layer of control, make this a little bit harder for Liquid, who will have a Blink Dagger, at least on Nisha. But it'll be some time till Centaur gets one if he wants one. But with the Rod of Atos and the extra control, things get dangerous, and you're seeing these numbers get pretty high up for PARIVISION. Again, now a 6,000 net worth lead for him.
So much pressure on the map. No one ready with the coil.
Doesn't want to use it just for box use, only level 5 still.
How do you deal with this Ancient Black Dragon? It is way too much. And also Beastmaster, he's going to be building into pipe afterwards, most likely. Helm of the Dominator just finished, / Overlord. That's going to be some good tower damage. 9 class, scouting things out. Moxie doesn't have escape act.
They will take both shrines. That's at least a little bit of a silver lining here. Ancient Black Dragon put pressure onto the tier 2, and now 9 class might find Mickey. They don't have a +1 yet, but they will in a moment. He could TP out, but they've got the vision on him, and he is just got nowhere to go. Ice Path, DM, he's got Primal Roar if it's needed. The Silence is down with the Smoke Cloud. Mickey stayed too long, and he ends up paying for it.
This time, Liquid, they are staying for way too long, chasing for another good 15-20 seconds. They will smoke up and try to get a kill with this Blink Dagger on Earthshaker.
Oh, Nisha!
Ooh.
Oh, yikes!
Have to get it out of the system. That one bad one needs to go out immediately. Coil, he snaps it, gets boxed.
I know Puck is a slippery hero, but he just avoided 3 ults by just going on by his day.
He also had Shield Rune available, so not sure if they were able to get the kill. Anyway, he's a very tanky guy. That shield was like 650.
Yeah, they may not have killed him in that situation, even with all 3 abilities there. But it's still, mental-wise, feels pretty bad. Tormentor for PARIVISION. As we watch a live look at the Cobalt on your screen on the bottom right. looking to stop a creep wave. Not sure this is going to work out. He's on the run now. Still alive. All right, you know what? I respect how... Oh, he's dead. Never mind. I was going to respect how strong the Cobalt was. Maybe not as strong as the board. Nisha coming over, finding an amplified damage. Doesn't have Echo Slam for 45 seconds. Blinks up towards no one. He's in a rough spot, but he has 11 charges, now 12 on that wand. It goes to the fissure, and they get the kill to no one.
They get another one.
Plus is dead with the Wrath of Nature. Ducalis, he's trying to run away from Insania. They'll pause, and I hope it's just... Okay, not a bug. Whew, just a keyboard. Sheesh. Okay.
So he's trying to run away with Jakiro. Pick pole has been used. Let's see if they decide to chase, but...
Oh, he stood in the macro pyre.
Standing in the macro pyre with blade mail. Hits him with the bing bong.
Bing bong.
Crimson now done. He managed to get a lot out of the lane, even though his triangle was not available to him because it was blocked, it was invaded by enemies, it was also farmed by Earthshaker. Still getting quite a lot of farm on the map.
Blink now finished for Satanic. He has been practically free farming for this game. He's gone into the Lance Deso Blink, but is yet to get the charges on the Desolator. And it's like when you eat food and you've got a mustache, it's there for later. The charges, they're for Desolator. I take my influence from you.
We don't need another one like me.
No, we don't.
One griefer is enough.
Well, you got Krokers in the game. There's a lot of griefing going on. 7,000 net worth lead, but the win probability 65-35. I do wonder if that accounts for the last two games, if that's like a live looking percentage-wise. But again, these ancient creeps aren't easy to kill, and they will get the deny on the tower, so not bad from Saberlight. They've got the Sentry, they C9 class, but unfortunately they lose that obs. Fissure missing the Impalement Arts. Then 8,000 from PARIVISION. Will it be enough this time?
Both teams are kind of looking to get, like, playing top part of the map just in case one team decides to go inside a Roche pit. Maybe try to snatch it. This is not Aghanim Scepter on Beastmaster, but it is Deso on your Templar Assassin. So let's see how PARIVISION is going to approach it, whether they want to force this fight. Thinking about it.
Grouped up mid. Mickey doesn't need to be nearby.
Yem, picking up pipe.
Yeah,
makes him super tanky.
You see Saberlight, but he's the tankiest of the bunch and probably not the one you want to jump. They've got this obs that they can break this smoke. Insania's going to be the one who's caught. He's dead immediately. They throw a Sentry down. Dream Coil now on a Boxy. Will go to the escape back, but the Ice Path follows him. Immediately will get themselves a second.
They got 2 kills, 20 seconds without Ice Blast. Liquid, they can't take this fight. Already 8k gold lead. Map has been very, very small for Team Liquid.
Yeah, Mickey has to farm on the other side. They're going to buy back on the Ringmaster. It'll give them Wheel of Wonder, but they need to get there quick enough, and 9 class is going to be in their face. Sentry down. They know that Saberlight can't see him with that Sentry, and now they've got the silence.
Roshan's dying.
The Waning Rift there. Roche is dying. They hit the Impalement Arts. Wheel of Wonder ends up being used on 9 class. Aegis for Satanic, so this buyback was meant to put the Wheel of Wonder in Roche most likely, but now Primal Roar with an escape act onto the Centaur. They go to the Echo Side, the Ice Blast flying through. Satanic, he might lose his first life, but they'll end up losing Nisha for it. He'll shatter. So they lose the first life, but Saberlight, he's pretty tanky, but how tanky is he? Now under the tier 2 tower, thinking about a host stop if anybody made the jump like 9 class, but they hit the Ice Path, they've got the silence, they get themselves another kill, and this is just falling apart for Liquid, but they hit the Fear and no one has to phase shift. Cold Feet freezes over, drops the Dream Coil, Insania dead for the life of no one, but Satanic, he's on a triple kill, looking over to get Boxy, and that's going to be an ultra kill at 20 minutes into the game for this Templar Assassin.
This game opened up so widely, picking up that Roche, forcing a buyback. Ancient Apparition ulti doesn't really it connects onto Temple Assassin, but they wanted to get a bigger Echo Slam, maybe on 2 heroes. It's still not enough, and I love that 9 class just went in, realizing that he might try to sacrifice his life so the rest of the team can take Roche. Doesn't even die in the end.
Here body blocking Saberlight, and then the fight ends up happening on this high ground, so it's away from Roche, meaning they can just take the Aegis, no real worries. Wheel of Wonder gets used pretty early as well. Saberlight holding onto the Stampede until now, then he gets it with Primal Roar. The timing's quite nice from the Beastmaster. They have the second, so they do hit this Ice Blast without an Aegis. Obviously, this is an amazing fight for Liquid, but you've got that second life, and off this, Satanic's then going to get an Ultra kill. Saberlight trying to run, everybody's here, and he's tanky, but he's just not tanky enough, especially with the Meld Strike minus armor coming through from Templar Assassin. They've kept the pace up, and they've kept the tempo there. That's why they've got Tempo Assassin. And Mickey at least trades for no one. It just doesn't feel good enough yet.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they have enough. Maybe without this Aegis, they're going to try to go again, but Earthshaker, he's still very far away from his Blank Dagger, so they need to save him with their Escape Pact or with the Stampede. No one jumping in. Echo Slam is available, but there's also Pipe Ready on Beastmaster.
Top tier 2, now going to be pushed by this Ancient Prowler. And 9 class has been a nuisance, and he's doing that classic 9 class early nullifier. Doesn't matter what hero he's going on, he's going to pick up nullifier eventually. We've seen it on his TB, we're going to see it on his Riki, and now DM. The most concerning thing is he's got access to this Croaker.
He's got the Griefer on his team. It's not the most popular item. Helm of the Overlord, we see it if there's some like random Lycan pick. Beastmasters mostly go for Aghanim Scepter, but this is pretty massive. We've seen this creep grief it so many times, and players getting better at just going in, getting stunned immediately.
These tendrils could be
yeah,
a big game changer, a big fight changer. Boxy getting blocked there. Ob's down.
1.2 second stun on Croaker.
You said now they've got the Griefer on their team. I was wondering which one of them you meant. Not naming anybody.
It also increases the damage. His aura is pretty good. Outgoing damage by 14%.
Whoa. He'll switch it up, and he will pick up this Ancient Black Dragon. Not holding on to the Croaker anymore, but things kind of slowing down a little bit. They knew they used that Aegis. Maybe they wanted to use that second life for some push, potentially into the high ground with the minus armor and the push potential that they have. That being said, they'll still look to maybe get a pick off, and Mickey might be the one.
He's
going to show bottom.
Stampede is ready.
Oh boy.
That's not going to save him.
No, it's not. Meld Strike, Ice Path, and another kill to the Nature's Prophet. Meanwhile, they're over mid. DM's here with 9 class. They've got the smoke. They'll hit the Fissure, Tame the Beast, and even Echo Slam for this. Wheel of Wonder placed down as a protective tool, hopefully for Nisha, but they land the Ice Path again. They'll force out the Stampede. These heroes on the run will escape from Paravision, but they did lose Mickey bottom, and all that for a support doesn't feel that great.
Class has been very annoying, pretending that the rest of the team is there, going for some of these like solo plays, using Road of Aethos, then Liquid responds to it. And as soon as Beastmaster showed up, they need to invest even one more ulti, Wheel of Wonders on top of that, Echo Slam. And let's see if Paravision is going to find something else out of it, knowing that it is on cooldown.
What can Mickey get to bring his team back into it? No lead is safe between either of these teams, as we've seen very evident before. But Mickey going for a BKB, but he's just not that close to it.
They need those 2 BKBs. Mickey, as you said, far away, but Nisha is getting closer. Road of Aethos causing a lot of trouble for him.
Tricks of the Trade avoids Tame the Beast and the Sprout. Take away that sentry. No one. He's nearby if they need some help. They also have the Jakiro coming. Meanwhile, Satanic is pushing bottom 2 levels ahead of Mickey and a whole lot of net worth, about a full item's worth. He's got this Desolator, and I believe looking for the next pickup of Daedalus Force Staff with the Hurricane Pike in full, and then have that Swift Blink.
I like the earlier BKB. You're fighting into multiple stuns. Saberlight doesn't have Blink Dagger yet available. He opted to go for more auras, which I really like. He just wants to keep everybody on the team tanky so they can survive this initial jump through the Roar, Macropyre, maybe bait BKB on Templar Assassin. It's going to be another Tormentor for PARIVISION.
Another Shard. TA already has theirs.
So does Ricky.
And so does Puck. This one will go to DM. Ducalis, not happy. You know, I'm the lowest guy on my team, and I just had to compete with a guy who's second on the net worth for the Shard. Didn't hit the 50-50. Not cool. But the lead continues to rise with the take of the Tormentor to get that Shard.
A 9 class in the middle of 4 heroes from Team Liquid.
And not being spotted, that's the crazy thing. He's been hanging around this area for a while. They still have this obs up. They have good vision on these heroes on the side of Liquid with the information moving around from 9 class. They want Dust from Boxy, and 9 class just giving them everything for an Ice Path, for a Dream Coil with a Blink. Ooh, anticipated this Puck movement, but Nisha, he's still going to die here to Satanic. They'll lose Boxy too. They pop the Stampede and the Wrath of Nature, but it just doesn't do anything for them.
Nisha was thinking that he has enough damage. Maybe he thought there's going to be Ringmaster with Wheel of Wonder, but he got jumped. You see, Camera was in a different position definitely for him. But again, Ricky, he's causing a lot of trouble. Doesn't have a single kill to his name.
But he's just that mobile vision at the moment, and that's really all they need. He's also a little bit of lockdown with the Rod of Atos, so he's happy with that. Nullifier's not exactly soon, but he's working on it, and he's 0-5 and 15. All right, not far from the BKB, but Mickey again. I mean, they are just always ready. They are moving with 9 class, and the lack of protective vision is hurting them. Mickey will survive. He's got that Curse of the Old Growth Ice Blast coming down, and that will fly and miss eventually. That'll be released. They do find themselves 9 class, and they do have the quick damage to get a kill into Ricky, so that's something for Liquid. They don't lose Mickey there.
They had enough of this Ricky Maru being super annoying for the first like 28 minutes. Providing them with so much vision, placing deep observer wards, which did allow them to get multiple kills onto Mickey, who is about to finish off his BKB. Yeah, these observer wards, a lot of value. These ones are also very low chances of getting dewarded.
They've just been keeping vision up. Meanwhile, the sentries, just, there aren't a lot. Now they finally have one in the triangle for the Dire side. And they are in some spots through the jungle, but the places that they've been farming and getting caught, if they're going to sit there for that long, they need to be having that vision under watch. Roche is going to be up relatively soon. They are smoked up. They do get scanned out, though. That scan connects, and not much the side of Liquid can do. They don't find anything, and they don't want to move in too deep. Again, 9 class here. He knows he's got this sentry, and he can just continue to search. Dust gets popped, but it's not going to land.
Man, I feel like Liquid invested so much gold into sentries and Dust this game. Also, in a losing game, it feels really bad. You're hunting down this Ricky. You're committing heavily on him. And again, he is providing vision for his team. Sentry ward down. Can initiate with Atos. Gets the courier first.
Blink in, Hoof Stomp, Ice Blast coming through. This is Beastmaster caught for a moment, but they'll get the kill onto this Ringmaster, and then they'll lose Insania. Satanic's got the damage with the BKB. They never got themselves this Beastmaster, and Saberlight Melt Strike just blasts him out of the fight. I mean, there is no answer from Liquid, even when they're the ones initiating, and now with Roche up, can be their Aegis, but they could just go to the high ground, take a tier 3 back up, and then go for it.
They're super tanky. This pipe keeping them alive, AC on top of that, which does allow them to even get more extra damage. You have Templar Assassin, who didn't die a single time. This is the Satanic that we're used to see so far throughout the tournament. In the last 2 games, they threw away the lead, but this time around they're playing it so much more cautiously. And Liquid doesn't have the counterplay.
No, they do not. And they may not have the power. This one might just be it. They take one more fight. That could be the end of it all. And I mean, Mickey, he got that BKB. He used it for the first time. It didn't do anything. Now he wants an MKB.
Oh,
You're farming, but it could just be
DP. Road of 8 toss.
Oh. That could just be it. No Earthshaker in this one. Doesn't have Echo Slam for 50 seconds anyway. Good Force Staff. Using that Hurricane Pike. And Nisha caught Radamatos again. You knew he didn't let you go. Primal Roar comes through. They've got more than enough. Nisha dead, and he's gone for 50 seconds.
Roshan is alive, so they're gonna go take it. They do have Third Eye, innate ability from Templar Assassin, which is really nice. So they can see exactly when the Roshan is gonna respawn. Nullifier now completed on 9 class. 2 supports. On Liquid, Ancient Apparition doesn't have a single saving item, neither does Ringmaster, but is very, very good against Escape Act and Crimson Guard, so these are going to be the 2 big ones.
Working with an Aegis for Satanic. Making up for lost ground when he had died a couple of times over the last 2 games. He's now 12-0-4. So wants to bring that average back down, that 1.5 deaths per game. He'll bring that back down with the 0 deaths so far. 9 class caught, Dust is there, Cold Feet and the kill. They take the Ricky. That's at least 1. But Satanic wants the damage. They'll stampede. Saberlight thinks about going all the way out, but the 4 staffs to get him some distance is fine. Escape back, Dream Coil snaps it, still alive, pops the pipe. Saberlight looking, but can't get his hands on anybody or his hooves. So it's just the Ricky for now.
I feel like it's been Ricky for the last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah?
He's the only hero that I feel Liquid has been able to kill.
Ricky has died 7 times. He is half the deaths here. The supports make up 10 of the 14 kills that they do have on Liquid. They've been unable to kill the Templar Assassin. And I think that trend's going to stick. Closing on that point where it's a 1,000 net worth lead per minute. That is usually the law of deficit, where it's time to call it when it's time to call it. But in a series like this where you've made multiple comebacks down about 20,000 net worth, I think you just play it out. You're up 2 games, why not?
Ooh, I'm afraid they have only 1 fight left. If they lose that fight, the game is pretty much cooked. You're going to be playing against Mega Creeps. You don't really have the heroes that are dealing really well with Mega Creeps. Eventually, with AC, with Deso, they're going to be able to close it out. So they need that 1 big fight. Saberlight thinking about picking up Aghanim Scepter. We saw what this item can do. You get initiated on by Beastmaster. He gets an input, Tenacious Prophet inside the cart. Could be pretty massive if he can get the gold for it.
2.5 minutes left on this Aegis. They're not fighting or pushing just yet. No one back there with Ducalis. Over in the triangle, the amplified damage is spotted by Liquid with their obs that's on it, but they're going to give it over to no one as they see it. They'll smoke up, but that smoke's under ward vision. Saberlight, blink, looking for a stun. All he finds is death.
And nothing works. His Crimson Guard, his escape that doesn't work. He does have buyback available. He'll definitely need to use it if they knock on those last set of barracks. Satanic, he's going in.
Killing Satanic once has been impossible. Killing him twice is going to be even less of a chance. It's non-zero, but they are deep in. They go to the Echo Slam. It doesn't do anything. They get the kill on Anisha as well as Insania. They'll buy back on 2. They lose Mickey, who doesn't have buyback, and that should just be it. Saberlight falls again. The racks are now taken out. GG is called. PARIVISION put 1 on the board. And we're going to a Game 4. It's not a clean sweep for Liquid, but a victory here for PARIVISION.
Very clean execution for PARIVISION. They pretty much won all 3 games in the first 15-20 minutes. Team Liquid, they will need...
If we had just fixed that issue in the band stage. But it happens, and that's what best of 5s are for.
Absolutely, you got a chance, you got another chance. But of course, what was the last thing you said to the team just quickly before you left the booth there? Do you remember what it was, the last words of wisdom you gave them were?
I mean, I just always tell them to, it's like any game is the same, you know, like I just tell them nothing's different from this or a scrim, like whether we play a group stage game or grand final, like 2-1 game, it's same stuff. So that's kind of what they tell them. I'm kind of always in the same amount of energy to keep it consistent. So that's how I do it.
Nice and calm, nice and chill. Let's see if that follows through into the game. We've got game number 4 of this grand finals, and we've got B-Cop and Lacoste to bring you the action.
We are back with game number 4, and we'll see. Second time for a chance to clinch it here for Team Liquid over PARIVISION Lacoste, and the panel
shot.
did not look or sound
No,
so
they were
confident
not
in the
convinced
draft.
by what Team Liquid did pick. I kind of share the same issues about the draft because they lost all 3 games. In the laning stage, PARIVISION 10 minutes in had, I think minimum was around like 4 to 5k, and they're playing it so well. They picked Morphling, which is a relatively slow hero. Underlord also very good as a counter to the hero when it comes down to max HP. When you're shifting, you're going to be able to deal damage. Want to see what DM is going to be building into, but there's been a bit of a newer build, and he's also going for Abyssal Horde. We saw quite a lot of offlaners, even carry Underlord, go for that cleave, of course, but other offlane Underlords have been picking it up. This time around, it's going to be more about him summoning the units, getting that extra bit of a damage, even though a lot of the times it doesn't even feel like it's doing anything. And DM, he's left alone, while the rest of the team are making this kind of a tri-lane work.
And they get that kill on Aboxy, who is back on this Windrunner and has had a stellar performance with the Windrunner today. Trying to replicate that performance, and 5 matches, 5 wins. I mean, it's certainly expected to see a lot of these finals picks be their comfort picks, and Boxy's got 5 wins with the hero. It's usually you play a hero, I would say, unless your hero pool is 1, you're playing a hero at most 5 or 6 times in a tournament, right? So this is probably one of his most played of the tournament, and he's also getting the victories under his belt with each game.
He's playing it so well. I love when she's paired up with an offlaner who builds into mana boots, or at least Ring of Bassi that he's gonna turn, because it does allow you to spam your power shot more frequently, especially if you're playing against heroes who don't have that much regen. This time, you're playing into 2 range heroes. I don't think Mars is gonna have a good time in the lane. So far, he's doing better than I expected, sitting at 8 and 2. Saberlight, he's going in, but things are gonna get more complicated for him. Right now, he doesn't have that much regen to work with, and also Boxy is out of regen completely on himself, so things are gonna get more difficult.
Mars doesn't feel like punting the other offlaners that we see, the Sand King, the Darkseer, the Underlords that can farm stacks. It does feel like an offlaner in this situation for Liquid that is going to take a big back seat in terms of farm priority.
He plays for himself, and then he plays to get a Blink Dagger, doesn't build into auras, so itemizing for maybe Yule Scepter, maybe BKB, depending what he's going to get, and you can already see that he's starting to struggle. Boxy,
He wants to
have
line up
another
that
power shot. Young Sal's ready on the Ducalis.
He'll be past the thresholds. So no kill shot just yet. Got Beastmaster over mid up against this Storm.
That's the big tempo for Liquid. They wanted to use Beastmaster for themselves. This time around, PARIVISION did use it as an offlaner, as a mid laner as well. So now Nisha, he needs to be the tempo maker, seeing that your offlaner is going to start to struggle slightly more as time progresses, and you also have Morphling as your carry, who is a bit on the slower side. But the hero that we didn't talk about is this Grimstroke. This is not a hero that we see pretty much at all. Always feels there's something missing. His abilities are always strong. Question is, what do you want to get on the hero? Do you want to put more points into Phantom's Embrace? Your Inkswell is too valuable as well, but also Stroke of Fate because you just chose the talent. Always having the same issue. Saberlight,
TP attempt.
TP out.
He should be
He'll
good.
be able to do so.
A-OK, but they knew the TP was coming from the Nature's Prophet there. Nisha hoping to have a lane this time. It has felt like every game he is just getting punished over mid. And he hasn't really had many opportunities to kind of have this advantage. This time around, though, 24-10. Things are all right. At least up to this point,
Looking
he's happy.
very good. Let's see if he maybe decides to put his boar into the bottom lane. Send one of those bees, help out the bottom lane. And this is something that he did do. Could be very effective against Underlord, that extra bit of a slow. But for now, focusing heavily on winning his laning stage. 26-10 against 23-2. No one still doing fine.
Yeah, doing all right. We'll see how the Beastmaster's farm kind of progress, how Nisha, when he can get into this Ags. We'll have to see. But that Drums of Slam is going to be very important, and then we'll see over bottom. Mickey, you said Morphling's kind of a slow hero, but Mickey, in these 3 games, honestly, so far, has had to get involved early. He's been forced into a position of reaction from PARIVISION and the fact that
they've been
play the lane
losing
so well.
all the lanes. So Mickey was like, okay, guys, I got to do something. On Nature's Prophet, it's much easier to get involved. And look at this little pain in the ass. He's just so annoying to play against. 9 class, killing the courier, which would be full power treads on Mickey. And now gonna drag the creep wave. Boots of speed, Windlace. They can't catch him.
He's just able to kill a courier, slow down the item progression by taking away the items from Mickey. The same thing happened at Satanic. There was a kill of a courier from Boxy. So that'll be a courier respawning in about a minute, and then of course this Nature's Prophet courier just respawned, so that's coming over with full treads. If Boxy was able to maybe get a snipe on it, he is pretty deep and might have a actual Jakiro courier coming from behind him to pick off. It's following behind, and he ends up getting 1 shot on it, so it doesn't kill the courier that was on his tail the entire time. It delivers the items. But Nisha now level 6. He does have this Primal Roar if he wants to TP to a lane, maybe make a play. Could walk over if he gets the option to. Shield Rune was picked up by Dakalis, so there was no Haste Rune or Arcane Rune that Nisha was going to use to end up going to a side lane with and walk to. But 9 class, he's moving around, he's a pain in the ass, but he's only level 2 for the moment. We've seen this before, though. Saxo was playing the Slark, and you can make a lot of space if you end up taking the attention away from these teams.
They're checking for stacks right now. Nisha, Insania, and Boxy teaming up together.
They're moving over for the Shrine. 3 heroes going towards this Shrine. Actually going to move Boxy back, knowing that he wants to go for their own Shrine. So they'll have 3 heroes here, but they'll also have 2 heroes on their side of the map to go for their Shrine, and they pick up both. This is a big point of contention.
This is massive.
Saberlight actually taking a lot of damage. They were thinking about TPing in, but the ball lightning, Saberlight
Nice spear. Catches him.
Onto no one, but he's still onto the tower alive and finally dies, but that spear could have been massive. Still Boxy, Shackle, Satanic comes in, and the power shot not enough.
I think Satanic gave him a Lotus Orb that he picked up. And also Raindrop, keeping the Collis alive. Pop that magic wand. Still trying to salvage something that was not really working out for them. Okay.
Swell. Little pop still in the Pit of Malice, though. Mickey turns into this Underlord and gets locked up again. 9 class was putting attention onto Insania, and this courier will deliver items and just kind of walk freely in between 9 class and Insania, and they don't get a kill on either. But even with that double Shrine take, Liquid, they're 8 minutes into the game, they're yet to put a kill on the board. That is a little bit surprising. And Nisha did get this Haste Rune, and that's something to move with. But now maybe the attempt is to go for no one, but he does have a full slew of mana to work with, and he shouldn't really be getting caught at all.
Ooh, he found the perfect item. Mana Drought with Mystical, Soul Ring, Bottle. You're always going to be having some kind of mana. So his game should be pretty fine. DM in the bottom lane, there's just not enough damage to kill this Underlord.
No.
Power Treads, 1 Bracer, going into Soul Ring, all of these small items, making it very difficult to kill him. Grimstroke and your Morphling.
Oh.
Not the strongest support, not the strongest combo in the lane. And then again, 9 class, 1 more courier.
Satanic looking. Feinted a TP down towards bottom. Was thinking about going that direction. A little bit of a different tale this time around on the laning stage. It's not so many kills for PARIVISION yet, but it's still a net worth lead, and they've got this Vortex. They go to the Fiend's Gate. They want to get a kill on Anisha, and he is still unable to have a fun lane, and he's back here inside the triangle, still picked off with the help of DM and no one.
They're coming through the gate. Two of them, actually. Chakiro's coming as well.
Yeah, they want to help out. Mickey and Senior are going to get chased. Satanic is a TP. That's another kill. Blocking him out with that Sprout. Ice Path comes through. Mickey's dead, and it's another one for PARIVISION. It's 6-0 and a 4,000 net worth lead.
Liquid, they just can't catch a break in the laning stage. PARIVISION, they have their number. 4 games in a row, winning it pretty heavily, using this global presence.
Saberlight.
Wrath of Nature, Twin Gate.
Pounce away from this Mars.
He missed.
Well, I was trying to... He pounced away. Maybe trying to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. This will be the tier 1 bottom. They do get the arena into the spear, but the Ice Path on it too. The Sprout's not going to be effective enough. But they've got everybody here for the side of PARIVISION. They're going to need some help. Mickey trying to shift as much as he can, but the damage is overwhelming. The power overwhelming from PARIVISION. They get the kill, they land the spear, they get the Slark, but the side of PARIVISION have killed this Morphling back-to-back.
He's not having a game. 1-2-0. Sure, he used his morph, turned into Underlord. They got a kill, which is okay-ish, but still not good enough. It does feel like right now, PARIVISION, they can put the pressure on the map pretty much anywhere they go. No one with 1 zip. You have an NP with the TP. Fiend's Gate as well. Gonna be very easy to outnumber Liquid.
Yeah, this is a very global lineup. A very mobile lineup. Top lane, Satanic back to it. Has this greater Treant. This Tomato, just hitting away.
Croaker? Of course.
It's always the Croaker. Getting grief by the Croaker. Macropire still down. Primal Roar comes through, but they've got the Pit of Malice locking him up. The Waveform trying to get a kill on no one, but now Mickey, he needs to be a little bit careful. Burning, killing this Storm, finally. But now looking for Ducalis. They've got the help from this Grimstroke, and that's going to be a second kill with one more right click or the Waveform from this Morphling.
Actually, Facet on Underlord griefed him. Their Croaker getting the stun because of the Abyssal Horde, so he's summoning the units, otherwise there would not be enough. You need 3 or more.
Pounce leash onto Saberlight. He has to think about backing away. Goes to the arena. No 6-on-9 class. Holds this spear, but still purges it off. And, well, it ends up that 9 class is able to just walk away from the arena.
Good Sprout, making sure that he's not going to connect to the walls of the arena. I still don't think it would be enough. Slark is relatively tanky as a hero with just power treads on strength. Brawny is in enchantment, sitting at 1.2k HP.
What do you do for Liquid? You're getting pressured again in a 4th game. They've had answers later, and much later, but can they make it to that point at a sustainable net worth? End up losing Boxy again. No one's using this amplified damage and has this huge space to just do whatever he wants.
No one mad what happened in the previous fight. Ganks that Croaker camp. Making sure the same thing doesn't happen again. And we said it. Mystical Mana Drought allows you to have almost infinite mana. Senia might get jumped here. He did go for 1 solo kill.
Finally have the Soulbind. That would potentially slow down these heroes and maybe make them available to gank. And looking for the deny. Won't get it. Boxy tried. It's Kaya BKB. At least so far, queued up for no one. They really want this Ags on Nisha. They need the drums of Psalm, but he is not nearly as farmed as the Storm Spirit, who's 1,000 gold ahead. Already that Mjolnir on this Nature's Prophet. That seems fast.
Way too fast. They're having way too much vision on the map as well. You can see the Slark. He's
Shaco doesn't connect, but the spear is there with the silence. Good power shot. That's the kind of damage and the quick picks that they need for Liquid, and they need to continue to move around the map like that, but they are very reliant on having Arena, which is a decent cooldown that they'll have to wait on.
100 seconds. This is something that Team Liquid also struggled in Game 3, taking the towers early on. One of the reasons why they're not getting that gold. XP rune, gonna get stolen one more time from Liquid. Liquid, it feels like they need to bring extra numbers playing against this global lineup from PARIVISION, where they have Nature's Prophet, the TP, ulti from Underlord. Makes it very difficult, so they're sticking together, playing together, but if PARIVISION is gonna be dodging those ganks, that also means that they're gonna be out farming Liquid.
This time around, it was 2 the first time for Liquid, 2 the second time for PARIVISION. You can see the lack of levels really holding back these supports. Slark's about to be 8. He gets hit with the shackle. Phantom's Embrace, the silence is there, and the control and kill. But here comes the turnaround. They're looking for the Soulbind that does connect. Saberlight walks into a pit of malice and now has to use that God's Rebuke. He needs to run. But do they have the man on the Storm? They do if they wanted to go for Saberlight, but he's not the easiest target to kill. So they let Saberlight live. They do get the kill onto Insania. And the whole time, Satanic
keeps farming.
He just keeps farming, and when he feels the need to get involved, he's 3-0-5, 8 of the 10, 80%. He's happy. And he's going to come help out with this Tormentor. So he'll take 10 seconds off farming to do so.
Also carry-to-carry items. Nature's Prophet loves to buy these items. Revenant's Brooch, he loves buying Mjolnir. These are also very good items against Morphling. Even if he decides to go for a Butterfly, you still have, like, one of the most damage items you can get on Nature's Prophet once you get to that Parasma with Mjolnir, with Revenant's Brooch. These are very good items against Morphling, and I want to see how he's going to itemize. So that Butterfly is not going to be as effective. Something that usually you want to get relatively early on Morphling. No one getting the jump, but for now, no one had a pretty good game. You said that he was thinking about getting his BKB, and item is being delivered. Opted to go for Kaya and Sanj instead. It's like, I'm playing into Soulbind, into Roar. Might be better to just tank up and get that Kaya Sanj instead.
Blink Dagger now for Saberlight. He's kind of struggled for farm. Nisha's right there with the Underlord, but behind his mid counterpart. And he finally gets this Ags that, truth be told, seems slower than the average by about 2 minutes or so, maybe more. DM, level 11 for the moment. Obviously can show up to any fight he can.
Not sure who used that scan, but he knows.
48 seconds
something
slower.
is up.
Yeah, nobody's here. 9 class already bailed. The rest of the team farming deep on their side. They're going to go to the Watcher. Boxy's going to close the eyes on that. But Saberlight's still looking. He's got this Blink Dagger. He wants to debut it into something. 9 class found. Ooh, hit with God's Rebuke on the pounce, but immediately goes into that ult. And purchase off the spear, but they've got the stun. Can they continue the control on him? DM comes in, the Soulbind is there. Saberlight taking some damage from no one. The Primal Roar gets committed, but the Ice Path is down with the Macro Pyre on Anisha. He's in trouble, he's dead. 36 seconds without him. Not like he's coming back into the fight anyway, but Saberlight's on the run. The rest of the team of Liquid's trying to get out, but Satanic is here. He'll TP forward, Insania TP's out, but Boxy leaves in a grave, and that's going to be 2 more kills for PARIVISION, who counter the aggression from Liquid.
Liquid, they just don't have enough damage. Underlord shows up with his aura, which is maxed out, so you don't have that much physical. That 30% damage reduction comes in with the pipe. Slark doesn't even die, and this is Slark with just Power Tread's Magic Wand. These are his items. How do you plan to kill a core if you can't even kill this position for Slark?
Yeah. They can't kill the Slark. He's already got access to that shard, so he has the Depth Shroud that makes him very elusive. And now Saberlight again, Vortex, the Ice Path is there with the Pit of Malice. There's no way for him to get out. And a Wrath of Nature from Satanic puts him on a mega kill streak. They pick up this early Aegis for no one, and it's another one of those games where Liquid, the pressure is felt on Mickey because he has to carry the entire team on his back right now. But he only has Vlad's Manta, Dragonlance. He wants the Hurricane Pike, but even those items don't feel like enough.
No, they definitely have answers. You're playing into so many controls. You're playing into so much damage reduction as well. Most of your damage is going to be physical anyway. You blink on top of the Underlord, who's going for Crimson Guard, by the way, which means that all that damage mitigation it's going to start to add up. And Mickey, he's going to need some big items, and he's going to need them soon, because PARIVISION, with this Aegis on Storm Spirit, they could definitely go and try to choke out the map. One, zip in from the Storm Spirit, twin gate rotation, NP with the teleport, and pretty much grab any kill on the map.
Working with 8 galvanized stacks on this Storm. Still holding on to that mana drought, but it's now a tough mana drought. So a bit more damage, a bit more armor, but the mana drought definitely leading to more available mana for this Storm Spirit. And you could see Satanic, we have said it before, he's the best farmer in the tournament up to this point, and he is 3,000 net worth ahead of the Morphling. And the 10K ahead, only 20 minutes into the game. They are looking for a Game 5. They are trying to continue this comeback. They lost both games 1 and 2, but in the early parts of the game, the first 30 minutes of the first 3 games, it felt like they won. Just a couple of fights in games 1 and 2 that didn't go well for PARIVISION, but Liquid, they know how to take advantage. That's not to take away anything from them. They have played their hearts out so far to get to this point.
Yeah, again, 10K lead, 20 minutes into the game. Team Liquid, they just can't catch a break. They love to play with the deficit, it seems. Really push the limits.
They're putting the
lineup.
weights on.
Pretty much.
They're trying to find that fight where the weights come off.
Little creep skip here.
Okay. TPing right next to these heroes smoked up. We go through that twin gate. He goes to mid. You can see Satanic getting that BKB next. He's just moving all over this Mjolnir early. We've seen it too. You get that Mjolnir, you throw it on a Greater Treant, throw him down the lane, he clears up these creeps, clears up these waves. So you have multiple ways to farm. It's not just TPing from camp to camp.
Lanes are always going to be a problem. You can creep skip with Slark, you can creep skip with Storm Spirit. NP with his ulti is going to kill pretty much everything. Underlord as well. Team Liquid, really worried how they're going to be able to make plays.
Found the Grimstroke. 9 class getting a kill with the help of Satanic. 9 class has himself only 3 permanent agility, but he does make a lot of space and room for the side of PARIVISION. Liquid may be looking for an opportunity, but instead, there's this Obs on the high ground. They've got themselves the Ice Path. They'll bring in DM. They've got the extra damage from the Abyssal Horde, and Ducalis will take the life of this Mars. And it's moving around the map, just having this global presence, and when the vision is down, you have nowhere to hide.
How many Observer Wards have been killed? I feel like this Slark has been on that duty for quite some time now. Very annoying. Quite a lot of impact. Let's see if he finds him with Yule Scepter, and he does. Into Pit of Malice, into Pull. Okay, doesn't even shift.
Never has a shot to shift, and that's going to be a +1 on Insane. Unstoppable already for Satanic.
This one is really rough one. I know that Liquid made comeback in game number 1, game number 2. In the third game, it wasn't that close. PARIVISION just stepped it up really hard. And it seems like in a game 4, they're even doing a better job overall, not allowing Liquid to play the game.
They're just dealing with a lack of vision. They're dealing with a 4-position Slark. I mean, he really is a pain in the 9 class. And they'll look, they'll pounce the leash. And speaking of the Slark, here he is again. They went from mid to bottom, or bottom to mid to bottom again, and Nisha's on the run. But Primal Roar is going to be expended for what? Satanic gets the kill again. There is nothing that Liquid can do on the map that isn't seen by Slark and the rest of PARIVISION. Boxy, he has to run. Satanic even coming over. This Gale Force, but an Ice Path really blocks them out from doing anything. And they need a miracle to come back from the looks of this game. It is just not going to be easy, and there's that Crimson Guard that you were talking about.
So Beastmaster's completely countered.
Yeah.
Deals physical and magical damage with his right clicks, beast mode. can't really do much. Even with the BKB, he's still gonna be struggling. There's no item/abilities right now that do go through magic immunity, through debuff immunity. But still gonna die. He's still gonna die to right clicks. He's gonna still die to random spells. Satanic is way too farmed. And this is the item that I talked about as a counter to Morphling. Revenant's Brooch allows you to deal critical damage as magic damage, which is always going to be nice against Morphling. Right now, he's hitting at 40 armor, shifting this time around.
9 class here again, Hurricane Pike. But the Ball Lightning, they have the extra control. They'll look for the arena into the spear. The Vortex is used. The Ice Path connects. They've got the Pit of Malice into the Macro Pyre. Saberlight is gone. And Mickey on the run, but 9 class trying to catch up. He's got this Fuels. If he can just grab anybody, but no one without the mana to try and continue and get anything else with. What items would you say more? Oh boy, Nisha, hold that thought. TP attempt, is the damage overwhelming? No, it's not. He's able to get out and pick up that BKB. As I was gonna say, what do you need from the Morphling? What items make this game viable?
I mentioned Butterfly, but there's also counter to Butterfly. Whether he wants to go for MKB, whether he wants to go for Parasma. MKB sounds like a safer choice, but you're also playing against NP who's staying 5k ahead of you, which also means that he can farm that item so much faster. Revenant's Brooch also gonna do the trick. And 9 class, they can't even catch him. He only died 2 times, and he's playing on the enemy side of the map for the last good 15-20 minutes.
He really just is all about his positioning, all about knowing where to be, knowing where to go, and actually, we'll get the Tormentor, while 9 class had spotted the Mars, and that's now Shard for no one. 9 class and him saw each other for a moment, and he does this. He buys that efficient
one item, Shard, prays that he gets it from Tormentor. If he doesn't, he buys his own Shard pretty much every single game.
And then really big item.
We're talking about Hex, Nullifier. Yeah. These are like 5,000 gold items.
And so now he'll be going into the Hex, and again, just taking out Sentry Wards, taking out the Vision. This Revenant's Brooch faster than the previous record by a bit over a minute. And it is just about 20,000 net worth lead. What's the analog clock say? It says about 1.5 minutes on Roche. It'll be some time. Take a look at the hero damage. They're getting doubled up. Boxy spotted. Phantom's Embrace. That'll end up dead. Even thinking about the Fiend's Gate, but here comes 9 class. And that's another kill in a Boxy. He's on a killing spree. Again, just trying to use this Yules to have that extra bit of control. And holds him up in the Pit of Malice. That's going to be insane. You dead 2 heroes got on the side of Liquid. And it really does feel 1v9 class.
Insania. I'm really not feeling the impact of this Grimstroke. There's a reason why the hero is not picked. It makes it very difficult, especially in a losing game. Getting initiated on. Gets the shift this time.
Yeah, but Morphling is still taking so much damage. The Pike, the Force Staff, Pit of Malice doesn't lock him down again, so he's able to get out. But this is now the Tier 3 bottom in trouble. Realize they've put the damage on it. They can back away. Maybe zip for more. There's full mana on this Storm Spirit. And again, just using these greater treants to put pressure on these lanes and still working with that. Madabal? No, he switches over to the Whisper of the Dread with the tough enchantment on it, on Storm finally.
He doesn't care about losing his daytime vision. They're fighting during nighttime. You have Slark, so that extra bit of vision definitely helps. This is when he starts to play slightly more aggressive, has Gale Guard, has Mystical, insane amount of mana regen. He sees you first. If you try to initiate on him, Dark Pact. Where's the damage? Like, they need to heavily commit to be able to get the kill. How much time is this, Benjamin? We zoomed it in for you.
17 seconds. No, 10 seconds. Yeah, no, 12 seconds.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, 10, 9.
It's not
8,
going that fast.
Shut up. 6. No, I said it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Insania! Uh-oh! No one's here. BKB, they've got the control. They'll look for the Grimstroke. They've got another kill.
I'm buying you a digital watch after this one.
And 12. There it is. Ooh,
Finally,
wow.
we got there. So that's Roshan, available on Dire side again with Roshan's banner. It feels like PARIVISION. They have this one in the bag. We saw some of the slip-ups in game number 1, game number 2. Game 3 was pretty clean. This one, it doesn't feel like there's an item on Liquid right now that it's going to have that much of an impact to be able to deal with all this lead that PARIVISION have. Even with BKB on Mars, even with BKB on Beastmaster, these are 9-second BKBs. It still feel like they can't take the fight. Okay, he's close to that butterfly, and let's see how Satanic is going to respond to this. He's making butterfly of his own.
Satanic coming over, BKB forced out from Nisha. And 9 Class is looking for somebody. It was actually Saberlight. He used that Yules. They've got the Gale Force, but the rest of the team is coming over. They'll find themselves the Wind Ranger. And with the Pit of Malice down and the Ice Path landing, they've got another kill into the Wind Ranger, dead for 34. They know there's no BKB on Nisha. They're working with an Aegis. They've got a banner. So it's certainly time that PARIVISION, if they want to, can push. They really just can. Butterfly picked up for the Morphling. We'll see if that ends up being of much value.
Butterfly, level 20 talent, that's extra 55 agility on Morphling. Big damage increase. Still, doesn't feel like it's enough. They need to pull off the big combo that we haven't seen yet. They need to use this Roar on multiple targets. Shackle needs to connect as well with like 3-man arena. Otherwise, I don't see them winning the fight.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to go right. This is...
And I'm being very optimistic here. This is just a very difficult game for Liquid.
There's the Hex for 9 Class. And they don't exactly leave. Like, yeah, these heroes retreat, but they're always in potential of coming back into the fight with the teleportation, with the Fiend's Gate. So Liquid, yeah, they see only 2 heroes or something like that. They think that they can get the control out here. He's not the one who's holding the Aegis, but you gotta know that there's always an opportunity for PARIVISION to have the rest of these heroes. And that Hex from Slark, you saw it 10 minutes faster than the previous record. Probably never bought a second item like that. Ball lightning in, and Insania was there, immediately gone. Satanic got the kill with the Wrath of Nature. The BKB's going to be popped out. Satanic with the damage going after Saberlight, and Mickey's going to try and fight, but there is the Hex from 9 Class. Liquid will do their best to try and hold on.
It is not
But
enough.
it's an epilogue being written by PARIVISION.
No
eulogy
BKB on Mars.
in this game.
Beastmaster thinking about going in. They need that big combo. This fight is pretty much do or die. Liquid, can they pull it off?
Satanic not really afraid of standing up on the high ground. They take the bottom set of racks. There's no tier 2s available. They can move from set to set. Ninja Gear popped by both Grimstroke and Mars. But Satanic thinking about just TPing in. Playing mind games a little bit. Looking for a Satanic next. There really isn't much in their way. 9 Class, he picked up the Hex. What does he have queued? Nothing. I think he's
Not
full
much.
C6 slotted at this point. No one,
Investing
meanwhile,
into
he
some
wants
Sentry
Axe.
wards. They also have Gem on DM. DM only dying 1 time on this Underlord, buying pretty much every single aura item except Guardian Greaves, Shiva's Guard, Crimson, Pipe, which made Team Liquid not have enough damage between 15 and 32 minutes. They were trying. Beastmaster completely shut down.
Mars surpassed by this Slark. 9 Class has so much farm. They are down 30,000 net worth. The first few games were a bloodbath between the 2 teams, but Liquid, they're famished for kills. They're famished for net worth as well. Hex onto the Wind Ranger, and the jump with some help. They'll drop down the Pit of Malice if need be, but they've got the Ice Path, so they don't need to use that Pit of Malice. Taking out Boxy again, as Satanic continues his perfect game of being 9-0 and 12.
Didn't die in a third game at all. Didn't die in this game. having the perfect game. They're going to plant the banner. Okay. Let's have buyback available, but I think he needs to invest. They need to go all in on items, one fight, otherwise this game is over. It feels like the game has been over for a good 25 minutes. After losing that laning stage, PARIVISION, they have their number throughout the whole game. Zip in.
Vortex pulling back each of Pitamalis on to both heroes. But behind them is Saberlight, who never gets an arena off. He's in this position where he's forced to buy back.
Nine class is so ready with that one.
Always ready. Just a real perfect game from everybody on PARIVISION thus far.
They're probably hearing Astini's words. What happened? Game 1, they throw the lead. Game 2, same thing happens. Game 3 was pretty clean, and it's probably pulsating in their heads. Guys, we have this one. We just gotta stay calm in the mid game. Try not to throw the lead, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And you guys are good enough, just finish it off and get us to a game 5. It's also probably a little bit more scary. Stini says it in like the most calm voice. He's very stoic.
Definitely believes in the team.
Yeah. But when when you're not getting yelled at, but it's coming from such a stoic voice, you're like, all right, it's Stini means business. And full respect to him.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
PARIVISION. Potential next Roche in 2 minutes. Will they wait that long? Not sure they need to. They could just, if they find a pick-off, go for it. Their vision right now near the Radiant side isn't perfect, but there is a scan that connects, and with that information, Liquid, they're actually going to try and wrap around and find a play. Instead, no one kind of hitting the scan, backing out, ball lightning.
If they were paying attention, they could have seen that there is Vlad's aura on one of the catapults. Tukalis.
Right. He's hiding in a Roche pit.
No buyback. He bought out.
He's going to question why they walked into Roche. Not even close to time for Roche, and he's just trying to hide in there. They do get the Jakiro. I think that leaves, yeah, the only one not to die is still Satanic on PARIVISION. Picks up that Axe, though. He did buy out, like you said. He's got the Axe. So that upgraded Macro Pyre makes these fights even more difficult, especially when you're getting held still with the Ice Path and the Pit of Malice. Pounce leashed as well. What is DM going to take? Pirate Cloak. With the tough enchantment on it. Also, Satanic, he took the Titanic Gale Guard. 10% base attack damage, the extra 10% status resistance. It's going to be quite nice.
In the middle of a fight as much as he can. Use that Satanic, and also he does have enough gold to buy MKB. Picks up XP Rune, gets himself to level 25. So Greater Treant Protector even becomes stronger 3 times. It's not like they needed it.
Does it hit harder than a Treant Protector?
Yeah. Treant Protector, highest base damage, level 1.
Gets replaced by a 25 talent.
Look at 9 class.
He's just always there. They see him, but I don't think they can kill him. They're going to try. He still has AVULUS. He has Depth Shroud. He's going to buy so much time.
This time,
they got him. Fall. Nobody came to bail him out this time. He played a little bit too far out of the comfort zone.
Meanwhile, while they were ganking 9 class, they lost melee barracks in the mid lane.
Oh. Now they found the Jakiro. Satanic's in. They had the Soul Bind, and actually now it connects over to this Storm. They bump back on 9 class, and Senio a little bit low.
Mickey was not in that
Danger
fight.
flies out. And
they need Mickey's damage. Mickey has almost 500 damage on his Morphling, and they definitely do need him.
He's still trying to farm an MKB. They did end up getting the kill on the Jakiro. They forced 9 class to buy back. Well, they didn't really force 9 class to buy back. He wanted to be involved again. He gets a little itchy from the sidelines and wants to be involved. Which I don't blame him with the way that he makes space and kind of makes these things happen.
Immediately goes to the spot.
How many seconds is this?
Well, let me just zoom out real quick.
No. Zoom in closer. That's about
like
what,
a minute.
20 seconds?
This is like a minute.
12 seconds? 12.
I think production's lying to us.
11.
Yeah, somebody was not paying attention in school.
What do you mean in school? This is like what? Just angles and one light getting closer to another. When did they teach you that?
We keep zooming in.
11.
The light is too bright.
10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5.
And it's gonna
4.
explode. It was good
3,
35, 40 seconds.
2, 1, and Roshan! Woo! Third Roche coming through. Ducalis sees it. And Satanic immediately on it, wants to get this Aegis. There's no contest coming in from Liquid. They hear the roar, they hear the disarm, and this is a very quick Roche. Almost 40,000 net worth for this Nature's Prophet. He is worth almost as much as the net worth difference between his team and Liquid.
Yeah, you have one extra Nature's Prophet in your team with all that gold. And a lot of that gold is still unspent. Nature's Prophet does have 6,000 gold, holding that Aegis. Boxy.
She's on no one.
Boxy finished off Dagon. You need to deal with Greater Treant. The problem is, it doesn't really sync up. Cooldown is 27 seconds. 20-second on Nature's Call. And they're gonna go in. Saberlight in a good position to get the jump. Maybe if he can spear them onto the tower.
They knew. Hex from no one. It's on a Saberlight. The Gale Force, but I don't know if it's going to matter. They've gotten a kill on a Saberlight. They take out Boxy. Both heroes don't have buybacks. The Hex onto the Morphling. They're looking to finish the game right here, right now. 3 heroes don't have buyback on Liquid. These top set of racks are going to die. It'll be mega creeps, at least for PARIVISION, if Liquid want to hang out in it. And they'll go for the tier 4 towers.
They did
GG
not
is called,
see
yeah.
This was a pretty good read from no one, knowing that Saberlight doesn't have buyback, comes in, uses Refresher, double Hex, and again, PARIVISION winning it pretty heavily in the first 10-15 minutes. Team Liquid, if they want to bring this one back, they need to focus heavily on the lanes.
Oh yeah, they do, and PARIVISION feels like they've won the laning stage in all 4 games. They put game number 5. It's the end of the line here, Lacoste. One more game, and the winner will go home, the champion of PGL Wallachia, season number 4. Like I said, at game number 1, Liquid are looking for their back-to-back Wallachia, while PARIVISION are looking for their back-to-back win in general. And this might just be first blood
This
here
is the
for
start
Liquid.
Team Liquid does need.
Yeah.
They're going to give it the Sanking hero that we talked about a lot, about him not having the good laning stage, and he's going to block the way, which is going to mess up with the creep equilibrium in the bottom lane. So the creep equilibrium, this is a hard word to pronounce, especially in game 5, is going to bounce close to their tower. So that's nicely done. Not just the first blood, but also we've seen a lot of stacking going on. He tried to do a block. He actually succeeded. Satanic TP'd in, summoned the Treant, and managed to pull the lane back.
Yeah.
Some still gonna end up close to the tower, but overall did a good job. I think this time around Liquid is not gonna be 5k gold down 10 minutes into the game. In theory, they should be doing very well in the top lane, but this is also PARIVISION we're talking about. This team is very good at manipulating creep waves, doing better than you would expect them to do with the draft that they drafted for themselves, because this is Underlord. His starting item is Windlace. You're playing against Jakiro and TB. Once they hit that level 2, Blood Grenade, a lot of slow metamorphosis. It's going to be very difficult for you to survive in that lane. Bounty doesn't provide you with much protection. 9 class. Again, playing a Vision hero. He's been playing Ricky game 3, Slark game 4, and now playing Bounty Hunter.
This Bounty Hunter is definitely an interesting pick. Only been picked 4 times throughout the tournament. Only has 1 win to its name. And that was crit on Falcons, who got that victory. See what this Bounty Hunter can do. We've seen how elusive 9 class can be. And we can see how abusive a Jakiro can be in lane.
Here.
We'll see if Insania can continue to just put that pressure onto DM. who has gone back to the Abyssal Horde with this Underlord as well. Couple stacks being made
Immediately. They haven't addressed these
well.
stacks. We've seen a lot of teams go in, try to body block, or put at least one sentry. Ducalis has one sentry available, but it's a lot of investment. You are playing against
DM's in
tanking.
trouble.
And this is what we expect in this lane. It is a very difficult lane for him. Soon as they hit level 2, they start to play slightly more aggressive. And mid lane, 13 CS on Timbersaw, 11 on Kunkka. In theory, this should be a very, very good Timbersaw game. We'll see if Nisha's going to be off to a good start. 9 class in trouble.
They might just get another kill. 9 class on the run. Couple shots from Dead, but the Fairy Fire keeps him alive, and they don't want to chase any further. But this is still 9 class alive in the lane. We'll see what he can do. It's not really the same here for the bounty as it is with the Slark. Comes in, takes a little bit of gold, and then is on his way. But other than that, you see in the bottom right of your screen, Saberlight, he's farming up these stacks. But what can no one do to Nisha? We've seen this Kunkka from no one, and it was so good previously.
It was. I want to see the itemization that he's going to go for this game. Whether this is going to be Blade Mail, there is a lot of uncontrollable damage. You're playing against Shakiro, Sanking, even Timbersaw, which does remove some of that aggression when you don't want to get focused. But we also seen Radiance and Kunkka rush pretty much. Double Bracer phase boots into Radiance. Ducalis being very annoying in this mid lane.
Being annoying, but it's not the Warlock game we've seen from him in the past where he's got 4 stacks on that Black Grimoire. See if he could get anything added to it to try and get to that 6. That was so helpful in that game where he was able to have that Chaotic Offering at the 7-minute mark to attempt to steal that Shrine, which they did end up doing.
It's a tri-lane mid.
Yeah, they've got the X and Torrent Tidebreaker on Anisha. It's a party in the mid lane at the moment.
Golem having a seizure. He's gonna die. What?
It's the tiny golems.
Okay, so they were big on my screen.
They look over for Insania, and they've got that Torrent. So now with the Fatal Bonds, that'll be a dead Insania, and that will be a second stack on the Black Grimoire to get involved just to have the Fatal Bonds. Ducalis then going to go over to the bottom lane.
Nothing was happening in the bottom lane.
They tried
was
for it,
jungling. That's why we saw the rotation from Ducalis, making a move to the mid lane.
Mike going to lose that Courier. The boots and gloves of haste. Taken out by 9 class, who has been all over these Couriers this series.
He's been keeping them hostage in Game 3 and Game 4. Unable to do anything. He's very, very good at controlling certain areas of the map, providing vision for his team. Gonna take down that sentry. A lot of stacks in the triangle. Boxy, I want to see how many stacks. This is 5 minutes we're talking about. He probably has 6, 7 stacks already.
I was going to say, he's got 7 stacks, 8 for the team. 9 class. Is the damage there? No, he TP's back. No fear.
Sanking is pretty high level.
Yeah,
level
he's
5 minutes into the game, and is about to clear the stacks.
He'll be level 6 for sure. And right now looking Wand, Null Talisman.
His courier died. The creeps turned against him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Unfortunate. Doesn't actually stick for it. Knows that Ducalis is around, and Shadow Word himself, the TP in the Nature's Prophet, or thought about it, realizing that Ducalis is just going to die. They leave him for dead. They won't move Satanic out of the lane, and he'll continue to farm in the bot side of the map while nobody else is here to really contest any of the farm that he's getting.
He's going to do it one more time. 9 stacks in 6 minutes. Boxy really pushing the limits. 9 class.
9 class again. Satanic's here. Ghost Ship comes in. 9 class still alive. Gets the kill on Insania. No way he survives this. He walks away from the fight. He was dead on his screen, it seemed, but the help from Satanic, the Ghost Ship comes in, and he survives.
Ghost Ship. Admiral's Rum keeping him alive there. This also relieves a lot of pressure. This is something that Liquid needed. You see that they weren't even farming the triangle. Instead, Saberlight opts to go to the bottom lane. Try to get some extra farm in that lane and also a little bit of extra XP. Both supports are kind of desperate to get the XP from these stacks. Both level 3 right now.
Radiant are scanning.
Gonna try and I believe, wanting to stack again. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication. They're not going to be stacking that. They'll stack this other camp over off to the side, at least one of them. But Saberlight going to be working on this, and it will be one shrine apiece for both these teams, and it's going to be the shrine on Naboxy. He would love to get these higher levels, and maybe
level 8, 7 minutes into the game. This is the highest I've seen Sanking. Thanks to Boxy. He's also level 4. He didn't want to steal any of that XP. He got some extra for stacking, but didn't want to get close.
Nine Class again. He's going to look over, and he's going to see that these stacks have been taken. Saberlight already a level 8. He's going to have a pretty quick Blink Dagger. If they can make a couple more stacks for him and they can take them without contest, that Blink Dagger timing is going to be really good for Liquid in a spot where they're going to be looking to fight early on. Nine Class again. They see him with the calling. Ducalis is also here. Fatal Bond's on to 3 heroes, but this time 9 Class does die. They're going to bring in Satanic again. They're going to look over for Boxy. They'll take out this Muerta, and then the exit of the Ghost Ship with DM coming through with a Fiend's Gate. They've got the Pit of Malice, and no one gets another one. Satanic kills off Insania. 3 heroes gone. Satanic, if at least he dies, it feels okay for the side of Liquid. But they'll look over as the Chaotic Offering is dropped. Ducalis, he had that level 6. As he did use that Black Grimoire, and Saberlight's going to fall here to the Warlock. Mickey wants more. Sees the dead shot land, and Mickey gets another kill. He's on a double, and it's a big trade between these two teams. Might also get this Golem for a bit of extra gold, and it's 100 gold for Mickey and a Sunder on a Boxy. Get back to full health.
Boxy can't catch a break. He's playing very sacrificial, but this is going to be another kill for Liquid. This is what they needed. To focus heavily on the lanes, and so far they've been doing a good job. Stacking, Boxy, even Sunder has been used on him. Gonna be on a different side of the map, stacking it one more time. How many stacks is this? This is like 13 stacks.
I'm gonna go with 13. I'm wrong.
But very close.
That's all I can hope for.
On side of PARIVISION and 14 on Liquid.
A lot of gold injected into this lineup with all these stacks. Feels pretty good, and you know, Satanic kind of still doing the same thing that he's accustomed to with this Nature's Prophet. Get involved. And I know it hasn't completely turned into all benefits. He's 1, 2, and 3. But you're getting kills. They got Saberlight and they got Nisha. They're able to slow down, especially Saberlight, at least for a second, on getting this Blink Dagger, but he's almost got it. He's got 2,000 gold, and he's level 10.
This has to be the fastest one on Sanking, even though we saw Sankings from the mid lane do really well. Faster than the average, but not the fastest one. Sania, Shield Rune is ready.
Fiend's Gate. DM commits. Ice Path reactivated, and now Nisha going into no one who pops that Blade Mail.
Admiral's Rum has been procced. This is how you kill him. So 60 seconds without it. Saberlight is looking for something. Wants to use that Blink Dagger. Going to the top lane, Mickey. Let's see if they can get there on time. Insania.
He's seeing all this, but they see it. They've got the Sentry. They were thinking about the Epicenter jump. They don't need it as they get the kill into the Bounty Hunter once again. This is one of those games where 9 Class is in a little bit of a struggle as it's minute 11, only. And he's only, level 4. He's about to be 5, though.
It's not like he's playing Ricky, so doesn't have that invis. So we'll still have a good amount of impact. Scouting things out, providing vision for his team so they can come in. Nature's Prophet, we saw, as you said, Satanic getting involved in some of these early kills, involved in 4 out of 6.
No one. Blade Mail. When then BKB, so this is not going to be that Radiance game, right?
No, I think he needs more protection. Seeing how much damage there is, pure damage, magical damage, and also great way of dealing with this tanky Kunkka is to sunder him and then kill him. Same goes for Underlord. So wants to have some kind of protection.
Tier 1 getting pressured by DM. Has that Fiend's Gate available in 15 seconds. The Blink Dagger is available for Saberlight. Now going into the Ags, of course, now taking even more stacks. It's a lot of gold, a lot of CS, 112 last hits up to this point.
Even though it was a very fast Blink Dagger, we're still yet to see that Blink Dagger being used. It was
Right.
10-minute Blink Dagger. They got a kill on Bounty Hunter, but we need that Blink Epicenter to connect onto one of the big heroes.
He was looking for it top, and I believe 9 class with the vision there sees that they've got this Blink Dagger. X calling. And a Timber Chain that doesn't connect to the trees in the river. But he will bottle up that Illusion Rune. Saberlight level 11. Working on this Aghanim Scepter. This is something that they've desperately needed to do for the side of Liquid. Every game they felt a lot of pressure on these lanes, and what it's turned into is forcing Mickey to react into fights that maybe he's not ready for.
Now Mickey can chill. On the other side of the map, they did a good job protecting him from the previous gank attempt where they killed Bounty Hunter. And now Mickey is farming on the other side of the map, keeping up with almost Nature's Prophet. Not there yet, but eventually he's going to be there, and we talked about the importance of this Sunder, whether he's going to be able to use it or not against Kunkka, against Underlord. Underlord can be a very difficult matchup, building into Crimson Guard, building into, like, of course, Atrophy Aura. So we'll see how they're going to deal with it, because they have Sanking, they have Timber, so these heroes are very good at bursting heroes down. Kaya already completed on Anisha. Want to see what the next item is going to be, whether he thinks he needs Blink Dagger to play with Sanking, jump one target, immediately kill it, Aghanim Scepter, or if he needs a VKB.
No ship on Boxy.
Boxy has ulti available.
And he pops that Pierce the Veil. The Blade Mail gets popped by no one. Ice Path kind of blocking his position. The blink into the Burrow Strike. Ducalis has fatal bonds onto a lot of these heroes. Thinking about the Chaotic Offering that goes down to Saberlight. He's dead, so is Insania. No one drops Boxy's dead. Ducalis had the double kill. Those fatal bonds wrapped around the entire side of Liquid, and it helps to take these heroes out very quickly. Combine that with a couple of tracks, and all of a sudden, they get a big gold jump for PARIVISION into their pockets.
They get a tower. Sanking wanted to go for two-man Burrow Strike, misses it. And again, this Blink Dagger that he picked up so early on, it's really not being put to a good use.
He didn't even epicenter in that fight. He gets to a spot where maybe they're lining up, but your watch, he'll TP in here on the right side of your screen, and then he looks to get the Burrow Strike out, but it's the Burrow Strike, doesn't hit Ducalis, hits no one.
Fatal Bonds doing way too much damage.
Fatal Bonds hit everybody. Look at where this is at. It's getting Nisha. It's got the Sand King of Saberlight. It also had Boxy. And Sania was caught, I believe, in the diamond that it hit. And all of a sudden, you get a couple of tracks and big jump for PARIVISION. Sunder.
He wasn't that low.
And the Metamorphosis, too, committed.
Shrine active. Farm up
for both these teams, and yeah, he'll use that meta to farm on up. Saberlight, I think the name of the game for him is to continue to farm. He needs to get this Ags. What was once him at the top of the net worth, he's been surpassed by no one and Satanic. And it's not surprising to see Satanic here. He's not afraid to fight and go. When you have two TPs available, you TP to the fight and then back to lane. You're right back to farming. And even then, you know, when you get yourself the Mjolnir, you farm that way. You have that greater treant out in the lane while you're taking a fight.
DM has been doing a very good job cutting into backlines.
Ooh, dust off the mark.
And is also about to finish off his pipe. Needs another 300 gold. Every other component is ready. This is going to be big damage reduction on their side.
Track again, Timber Chain. And another rotation. 4 heroes are down here for Team Liquid, and there can be another hero. Well, honestly, the 2 heroes that aren't available for PARIVISION at this exact moment can be there in a heartbeat too. Teleportation as well as a Fiend's Gate. They can make the numbers happen. It's one of the things that maybe puts Liquid in a spot where they see an advantageous fight, and immediately the numbers are even or better for PARIVISION.
They will need Epicenter to connect. They need that extra bit of damage. It's definitely been lacking. Now it's going to be even more difficult with Pipe online, so Saberlight, he continues to farm up. But as you said, DM is getting close. All those stacks that he did clear, they haven't managed to find the opening yet. Put that extra network to a good use.
They find Nisha, they pull him back into the ghost ship, and Boxy, he's here spotted, tracked, but Nisha's dead, and it's another track kill. And despite the fact that the lanes went so well for the side of Team Liquid, the net worth is starting to go towards PARIVISION in big jumps.
PARIVISION still outplaying them. Mickey is the one who didn't die a single time. Terrorblade, we've seen times and time again where he can be the one carrying the game.
He's gotten a little bit of extra time with the fact that the game is closer than it once was in the first 4, but you need to give this Terrorblade more. I think they kind of missed the timing with this Blink Dagger and none of these follow-ups into kills, and they're still kind of farming into the Ags, but that Ags timing has to be a moment where they take a big fight.
This is the biggest difference I've seen. 24 stacks on one side and only 1 creep stack for PARIVISION. A team that usually is, I believe right now they're in top 4. NAVI Junior is the team that stacks the most. Team Liquid on the 3rd place and PARIVISION place number 4. I also like that he's building into mech on Bounty Hunter, so now you have mech plus pipe. It's all about that, the damage mitigation. And speaking of damage mitigation, Atrophy Aura is maxed out. There's also Crimson Guard available. They find something here. 9 class.
And an Ice Path. They get the Sentry down the track, though, on a Mickey. They've got some help. The Torrent lands, but it's not going to matter. The Wrath of Nature thrown by Satanic. They'll give it to Kalis, who's got the Glimmer Cape. Saberlight with the Burrow Strike and the Dust ready to go. So Nisha's got himself a double kill. A couple of good kills for Team Liquid overall. They don't react, though, on PARIVISION. And that's what's giving them the opportunities. As they didn't have, they had Satanic throw the Wrath of Nature, but he doesn't commit to the fight as well.
No, he wanted to keep farming, get his next item. Seems like that's going to be Hurricane Pike. Pretty standard, unless he feels that he needs BKB. Let's see what he decides to go for. BKB is slightly safer choice.
He's going back to the Radiance. Whoa.
Wants to scale.
Yeah, yeah.
I think this game could go pretty long, seeing what they have on the high ground. You have Jakiro, Sanking, Timbersaw. This is also Game 5.
Game 5 with a little bit of a lead. Maybe you thought you weren't going to get that gold as quickly, but a couple of track kills, and then you look at your gold, and you're like, maybe I could. Doesn't mean it's definitive yet, but it is queued up. Why not? This is a point that Liquid need to kind of hold it, where Mickey, he's got a couple of good items under his belt, but we'll see if they look to fight as the Sags now is completed on Saberlight. They do smoke. They're going to look for something. In 9 class, he's actually recovered so well since the slow 6. There's the epicenter. Pipe's going to be popped, but it's not going to matter. They're able to rip through this Underlord. That's the kind of kill Liquid really needed, and they need to take out this tree so it can't cut the creep wave, and they can take this tier 1 tower mid. Otherwise, it's going to cut the creeps, and there we go. They take it out in the Mjolnir armor. They won't be able to cut the creep wave, and then they could go for this build.
Finally, we see the epicenter, and even like sitting underneath the tower, pipe has been used, Atrophy Aura maxed out. They managed to get the kill, showing that these heroes on PARIVISION, even with all this stacking of damage reduction, they can be killed. But if we do, in theory, how much damage reduction they're gonna have, it is a lot. This is gonna be some missed chance from Radiance once that's finished. Admiral's Rum.
Saberlight. The X and the Ghost Ship actually don't hit that well, and the Ice Path on the Fiend's Gate. Insane is tracked up, but Mickey is here, goes to the Reflection. They've got the Pit of Malice, and they should now be able to follow this up with a kill onto Insania to get this track kill. It's 9 class who gathers it. Some of this Abyssal Horror, but maybe they can chase. Satanic's not going to be the one they go for. They actually look over at no one. Burrow Strike lands. Chaotic Offering is there, though, for Nicalis, and now the Fatal Bonds come through. But the Manta purges that off. The Timber Chain back over to no one, who pops the BKB. They've got a couple of treants, so the rest of the team behind this Kunkka.
Saberlight
Kill that golem,
Fatal
but
Bonds.
Saberlight needs to really back off. Out of Atos on to 9 class. Feared with the dead shot as the Wrath of Nature pierces some of this Liquid lineup.
They're so tanky. Vanguard, soon Crimson Guard to be as well, and also innate ability on that Underlord. Invading Force. You TP, you get damage reduction. So it works with NP Teleport. You go through the gates. He TPs in, he also gets 250 barrier on top of that, so it's very, very difficult to kill these heroes.
It's these long, drawn-out fights that...
This is basically having raid pack. Kinda don't miss that meta, to be honest.
No, I don't miss that word. You said it, and I kind of got...
Wow.
I got the chills. I don't like that. Saberlight Burrow Strike. They've got Dust ready because they've been dealing with 9 class this entire game. So Ducalis ends up dead. Nisha is there for credit, and they will get this tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. Mickey is going to be tracked up by 9 class. He needs to be careful. He's looking into that butterfly, and that might be the item where he feels confident enough to really start to push the pressure and fight. Wants this Hurricane Pike too, so he'll have that. But it's Terrorblade kind of on the watch here. They need to find a way to slow down Satanic. I mean, this guy's the top farmer for a reason. I've said it all 5 games, and he's top of the net worth. They need to slow him down.
Every single game on top of the net worth has the lowest amount of deaths. BKB about to be completed.
Bro strike epicenter.
9 class, they had enough of this guy.
Yeah, they're 4 games. We've had enough of the nonsense. And they're here to burrow strike and 9 kick your ass. They're farming up and getting some heroes. Look for a tier 2 tower if they can. Also have this shard on Mickey, so he's using that Demon Zeal to move around the map pretty efficiently and get farmed that way. And you can see they're cutting into the net worth a little bit. Even the win probability favoring Liquid. Ghost ship comes in, Insania. He is going to die here eventually and falls to DM in the Firestorm. 9 class had that mechanism. He's going into the AVULUS next, an item he loves on all the 4 positions that he plays. He even gets it, you know, TB, Slark, Bounty. He's not afraid. Have that extra bit of control. It's cheap control with the AVULUS. Go for it. BKB finished for Satanic. He's been involved in 8 of the 12 kills, but he has been farming quite a bit. He's got 311 last hits. 311. Also a great band. X-Torrent and Boxy in the Pierce the Veil. He's actually still alive for a moment.
Not for long, though.
And he gets the dead shot on a 9 quest, so maybe they command this ice path, but they'll miss it off to the side. Nisha not afraid to continue to go in. Has that whirling chakram and gets the bounty hunter, but he is tracked up, though. Use that dust one more time.
No one can TP out if he doesn't want to take this fight.
And he's out, but Ducalis hit with the Burrow Strike. Saberlight finds him. They've got the ice path follow-up, and with a whirling death, they'll cause the death of Ducalis.
Team Liquid. They made comeback game number 1, game number 2. In the 3rd game, that difference isn't really that big.
No, not at all. It's really a bit of a track difference that's coming into this game number 5, but Liquid are doing a much better job of keeping this one so much closer. I mean, there were games where 24 minutes in, they're 21,000 net worth down, and they just don't really have a path to recovery. Solar Crest finished off for the Jakiro. They'll have other ways to kind of hold on past this physical damage. But Liquid, they were pushing the pressure, putting the fight on. See if they want to continue. They are top. They do have Saberlight nearby, but they actually move forward, scout him, stun him, hit a Malice, Ice Path on a 3, and the Burrow Strike away. Insania was able to help, but Satanic is here. So Insania tracked up, 4 staff forward, 2 more shots and the kill. So they'll get a little bit more track gold, but they do not get Saberlight, which is a big save at the end of the day for this Jakiro.
Yeah, seems like both teams are thinking about going inside the Roche pit, but they need a bigger kill. Jakiro, he could easily buy back, doesn't have gold for it, but they don't know that. Dire using the scan immediately, thinking what we're thinking, the PARIVISION, they want to go in.
Will the scan last long enough? Spot Satanic going in. So now the question is, do they want to make their way over there in a 4v5 situation? 9 class is going to be able to get some information. They'll throw that dead shot in, but they need to figure it out. No one's going to bail from the pit. And everybody's out of the pit. They go and find themselves the Ghost Ship X into the Pierce the Veil. They've got the Torrent, but the track is there. The Burrow Strike comes through. It's going to be on a no one. They turn it around with a Chaotic Offering and the Fatal Bonds on 3 of these heroes. Down goes Boxy. Ducalis is going to be focused by Mickey, who needs to find himself a Sunder target. But the BKB from no one. Now he's going to Sunder up 9 class. The Golem hitting him. He's still on the Fatal Bonds. They'll find themselves the Bounty Hunter. They've got both supports out of the fight, but they'll buy back on the Warlock. They'll buy back on Boxy. The track is on to Nisha. The Fiend's Gate dropped in the Liquid lines, but Nisha feeling very confident. They've got the epicenter. They'll look over at Satanic, though, with the BKB. He's got the survivability for a moment, and now they get the kill on the Nature's Prophet. Radovatos onto this DM Underlord, and he's dead too. a big fight for Liquid where they can finally even the net worth and go for this Roche.
Saberlight finds the opening this time around, gets a couple of burrow strike, then comes back with a big epicenter. That damage, even though it is reduced, it's still quite a lot, and the big damage number is coming out from Nisha. Nisha with Aghanim Scepter. Ducalis, he bought back.
No one also using the Tidal Wave. Ducalis did buy back, so he's gonna die. The Tidal Wave pushed him out of the pit for a second, looking for another Torrent. Just being a big pain in the ass, and they do get the Aegis onto this Terrorblade. Taking a look at this replay, it all starts on them going for Boxy, who's got this Pierce the Veil.
He's very sacrificial.
Yeah.
He's at the front lines. He's like, guys, you can focus me all you want. I'm going to buy a little bit more time. If necessary, I'm coming back into the fight with buyback. And Mickey, this ghost ship, once it goes down, once that Admiral Rum is gone, you're definitely going to start feeling the pain. And Nisha, he is definitely online. I love his items in this game. He did pick up a Blink Dagger after Aghanim Scepter going into Shiva's Guard, and he's actually very close to it. So many problems now that PARIVISION needs to focus in the fights.
It's a little bit tough, especially when Nisha is feeling free to go to the backlines the way he did to get Ducalis there. And, yes, Boxy's playing sacrificial, but he doesn't die immediately. He goes into the Pierce the Veil, and he buys 10 more seconds or so of focus. Shrine's going to be picked up by Saberlight. And he will hit close to level 18. 9 class going to leave. There's that level 18 for Saberlight. He's got level 3 in the epicenter with that Ags on him. And he's almost got, I believe he actually does have on that Courier the BKB recipe, so he'll have that ready to go for the next fight.
That's pretty massive. They have no abilities that go through debuff immunity other than Warlock's Golem. So he can Burrow Strike in, BKB, reset, then come back into the fight again with the epicenter, just how he did in the previous fight. Boxy putting in some deep vision. No one at Radiance. Let's see if it's going to proc Admiral's Rum.
Fiend's Gate, they want to go. Force Staff, double Force Staff, Pit of Malice, that does connect, but he pops the Manta. Boxy again going to try and TP with this Pierce the Veil, but the Tidal Wave, the Chaotic Offering, they go to the Fatal Bonds, and they look over. They're going to get the first life out of Mickey. They already used that Thunder, and Boxy's going to die. Nisha's in the face of 9 class, but they need to help out this Terrorblade. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. He doesn't really have the damage. The Tidal Wave pushes him. Another Force Staff, Ice Path, but the BKB, the damage with the X. They pull back Mickey. They get the kill. They'll take it Satanic in return. They look for 9 class. They've got the dust. They'll have the vision. Saberlight ready to go, but the Pit of Malice locks him down for a moment, and they don't want to continue for the Bounty Hunter. Instead, Nisha, he might be the one who wants to dive deep. As another Timber Chain. He's got the Blink Dagger, Whirling Death, and the Whirling Chakram will twist and kill off the Bounty Hunter.
They're getting the trades. They're getting the trades that they want. Losing Aegis, Nisha, and Saberlight getting together, being paired up, locking onto the same target, managing to kill it instantly. And Sunder on DM, like he dies so quickly.
He bought back too.
He did.
That is a salvage fight from Liquid, considering you lose the Terrorblade twice. There's not much he can do once he's meted and comes back to life. These transformation heroes struggle with that second life when you don't have access to it. Isha, he has been, I mean, this is what happens when he has a lane, right? Gets to have a game. The first 4 games, he didn't exactly have a fun time over mid.
I think game number 4 was the most difficult one for him. Beastmaster couldn't really feel the presence of him, but this time he's completely unlocked. He's ready to go in. BKB, and almost has enough money to buy Shiva's Guard. 1,400 gold away. Those BKBs are causing a lot of trouble for PARIVISION.
They're going to have a Ghost Scepter for Saberlight, so he's going to be able to survive quite a long time with the BKB and the Ghost Scepter when he picks it up. Isha looking to kill a Courier, and does. That's the Solar Crest for Ducalis. It's the full Solar Crest. That is a really bad Courier to lose. McKay looking for his own BKB, then Daedalus. Probably get rid of that Falcon Blade. And he's been farming quite well. That being said, Satanic's still top of the net worth by 1 creep. He's still farming really well. But this is similar to games 1 and 2, right? Games 3 and 4, Satanic doesn't die. Games 1 and 2, Satanic has 4 or 5 deaths.
Now they have control for him. He uses his BKB of Sanking, and Timbersaw are not dead. They're immediately going to start going on him. As soon as that BKB is down, Nisha, he feels very comfortable coming into the fight, knowing that they can't really stun lock him from 100 to 0. He's going to be able to get the BKB off.
Jakiro, Sand King, Timbersaw, all holding on to Whisper of the Dread.
All these heroes, they do a lot of magic damage.
That's...
Why not increase it?
yeah. Ag's almost finished for the Jakiro, too. Saberlight looking for his moment to jump Link in. They've got the track on Abaxi and Senia towards the back line. 500 gold away from having this Ags. They've got this vision here that sees Nisha. They need to be careful with the way DM plays. He loves to play aggressive with that Fiend's Gate, but when you're on this buyback cooldown, you need to play a lot safer, especially with how much he's the Firestorm to kind of push out and defend the high ground with.
It feels like they need DM to get multiple rounds of spells, but if he's getting close to the fight, Terrorblade, even with all this damage reduction, with Atrophy Aura, Crimson Guard, he's going to be able to eat him alive. And 9 class, heavily punished in this 5th game.
Not letting him have the same kind of games he's had in the first
they did not want that. That happened in game number 5, banning out Slark and also shutting him down, investing heavily in Dust Sentries. Now even Gem on Sanking. Roxy playing very sacrificial position for allowing Insania to scale. You talked about Aghanim Scepter. It is being delivered on the Courier.
They'll have that Ags. Meanwhile, Paravision will have this Tormentor. Ducalis is going to get the upgrade on the Shard. This time he does have some levels in the upheaval. We'll see how they want to go about it. Roche gonna potentially spawn in a minute 15. But the side of Liquid not afraid to just kind of farm up, wait for this next Aegis, try to fight there if need be, and then go and push for the championship. It's not a big lead by any means. It was at most a 5,000 net worth lead by Paravision. So you got to play it a little bit safe. I mean, this is game 5. You don't have the freedom of one more loss.
No. This is it. This is all you got. Your best strategy in game number 5. So far, Team Liquid, they've been showing that this Timbersaw as a counter pick have been working out amazingly for them. Shield Rune as well. That's going to get dispelled.
Surprising that 9 class walks up there, seeing that they're dewarding that sentry. Steps up, immediately hit with the Burrow Strike, and he's dead for 45. Path of Nature flies in, trying to push out these creep waves a little bit. Get some more gold, farm a little bit. No one pulls himself back, throws that Torrent out. He's trying to clean up these creep waves, buy time, and Turtle, as they're trying to get as much farm as they can onto Satanic. 9 class so far on this Bounty Hunter. Had 9 deaths, now 10 deaths. This is probably one of the games, I would say, minus that Ricky game that we saw a couple days ago, where he has died out of position. Or not really out of position. These are the positions he wants to be in. There's just enough vision here for Liquid to make him pay for playing the way he does, for playing aggressive and finding to try and be this mobile observer ward and annoyance for Liquid.
It took them 5 games to realize how to punish him.
Yeah.
Yesterday, they lost to him as well. He was very annoying. He played that Templar Assassin position 4, but in this game, he's been pretty silent.
Boxy going for this Ags. We haven't been seeing the Muerta as much, and when we haven't been seeing the Aghanim Scepter picked up by these Muertas either. The dead shot with that Ags upgrade, especially when you're kind of taking these tight fights in what would be the high ground when everybody's kind of around their towers, allows you to hit 2, 3, 4 heroes with this dead shot. No one forced to BKB TP out. And there's that BKB for DM. Dato is finished for Mickey. And more big items coming in for both teams. Not really feeling the presence of the Bounty Hunter who wants to provide this track gold.
No, not
Kill
getting
count
any
for Paravision is
real value out of
down.
it. Roshan's gonna respawn in 2 minutes, so they will be able to go for that fight. Team Liquid should be scouting it out. NP getting closer to his level 25. Maybe they also need to start thinking about how we're gonna deal with that. Maybe some split push is gonna come out, but so far Liquid, they've been very good at punishing every single move PARIVISION tries to make, especially in the mid game. They've been shut down.
Keep the pressure on across the river. Roche is going to be up in about 30 seconds, I think. And these creeps don't make it that far out of the base. These illusions from the TB, always keeping them pretty close to home. So much of the map is getting farmed by Liquid at the moment. Satanic, though, Revenant's Brooch, MKB, Mjolnir, he's still up there. He is right neck and neck with Mickey. And he is now going into the Satanic and not too far away from it.
I think he wants to keep his buyback for the next fight. Seeing that he can come back into the fight, maybe that's going to give them advantage to take that fight, get Roshan. He picks up the Aegis, and Roshan is about to respawn.
12. 11. I won't count. I don't know how. It's fine. But Roche is going to be up in 2 seconds. And then, of course, now it's time to see how both teams kind of approach a Satanic. BKB TP out. Been saying that a lot. They're trying to find... Ooh, Ducals? Wow. Able to sneak a TP. Boxy not going to be so fortunate that that's actually track gold for the side of PARIVISION. And that is a good dodge from PARIVISION overall, but now it's going to be Roshan, and this age is picked up for Liquid.
They got what they wanted. BKB on Satanic has been used, knowing that he's not going to be coming into the fight without a BKB, and Mickey will be holding the Aegis. Transformation hero, but he still does a lot with Reflection. If he can get the Sunder off, and he's also closing out to be level 30. Sunder on a 10-second cooldown can really make a difference.
Yeah, again, in that level 25 talent at minus 30 seconds for Sunder. They got level 25 for Satanic. He took the 3 times HP and damage Treant. 9 class. Ogre Seal Totem right on top of him. Burrow Strike won't quite hit the mark, but 9 class is still going to die here. Boxy getting that kill. While in Pierce the Veil, but he doesn't have that shard. It would be the first time I feel like we'd see that. Burrow Strike short from Saberlight. Ice Path as well, but maybe stopping them from progressing forward, touring up into the air, but the damage on a Saberlight forcing him to pop this BKB and back away. Liquid playing a little bit with fire there, but now they're BKB-less on their Initiator.
I was wondering what he's going to buy on Sanking. I was thinking whether he needs Hex. They have that instant initiation, try to punish potentially Nature's Prophet. In terms of saves, there's good amount of damage reduction, but there isn't that instant save other than Warlock's Golem. And he is going for Abyssal Blade, it seems, which I really like. This is something to deal with this split push. Still, Raider Treant. I mean, this is just insane damage.
It's time to rat jam. Clearly, Satanic wanting to use those treants and kind of cut these creep waves and maybe put themselves in a position where PARIVISION can force Liquid back without a fight. They cut these creep waves really well. They handle creep waves coming in with ease. Saberlight bottom. Like you said, going for the Abyssal Blade, but there's the Yules from 9 class, and thinking about the epicenter. They've got Nisha nearby. They go to the Chaotic Offering. Saberlighto is going to be dead, and they get his Courier too, but Nisha goes right for 9 class and will get the Bounty Hunter. But what else can they find? Ogre Seal Totem, Nisha has a track on him, but can't find anybody on the side of PARIVISION other than this Bounty Hunter.
Very good instant reaction. Nisha immediately deep is in. They have a glyph just in case that they want to kill those creeps. Satanic, he's going to need to be careful. Every single time his BKB is down, you can see how timid he is. He does not want to get close to the fight, not unless the rest of the team is controlling the fight. And look at the items on Kunkka. This is basically the water park that he's trying to go for, the budget one, since we removed that with the Bloodstone and removed those talents.
No Torrent.
So with Doctrine, with Doctrine, Torrent, level 20 talent as well, it goes down to 4.5 seconds, which is relatively low. So you can push them in, use Tidal Wave, and I want to see if he picks up level 25. 100 spell on AoE. Getting closer to it. Still level 23, but eventually we'll get there.
It really is the... I mean, it's Water Park Light, but you've got the ability to jump into the wave pool. You can drink some rum, hit some torrents. It's everything but the lazy river, honestly. And he's now level 24, has this late Radiance. Swift Blink picked up for the Terrorblade. A minute 19 left on this Aegis. But PARIVISION not afraid. They smoke out of the base. Level 25, Nisha took that talent for the 75% Timber Chain range and projectile speed. Ooh. Not quite catching these heroes for the 42-minute Shrine. Nine Class also going to pick up some of these Lotus Petals.
55 seconds. On that Aegis,
Are they going to try
they
and
decide
time
to
it
go
out?
for the high ground. Metamorphosis is ready, but their high ground defense is very good. Torrent immediately, Firestorm. Might try to pull them in with Tidal Wave.
Hit Malice 2 doesn't allow you to really step up, but the blink forward for Mickey is going to be on a Satanic, but he's all alone. He needs Saberlight to come help. They go to the Macro Pyre, but they get the code of Saberlight. The Tidal Wave is huge! Saberlight and Sadia, the Aegis is gone. He already used the Macro Pyre. Mickey needs to leave. Pit Malice, BKB, TP out coming through from this Terrorblade. And a big defense from PARIVISION.
Wow, Kunkka did a lot of work in that fight. Managing to get 3-man Tidal Wave into Pit of Malice, into Firestorm, while you're having the right clicks from Nature's Prophet. 5,000 damage coming out from him. Sanking, again, dying. Not a single damage dealt by him. He needs to be more careful. He needs to be able to get the jump in. I think if Nisha wants to be the first guy who jumps in with Shiva's Guard, Overwhelming Blink, try to get some BKBs out, potentially slow them down, and then he needs to come in with Sanking. Level 25. AoE is available on Kunkka.
Oh gosh, this fight was at their own base. And here they are, knocking on the tier 3s. They might be the first team to break the high ground. This is a problem for Liquid. Mickey doesn't have Metamorphosis for 50 seconds, but the jump in from Nisha, he needs to be the saving grace. He'll Timber Chain far away. Ghost Ship. And the X, it lands on a Boxy, but no one's gonna pop the BKB. They've got the damage to get the Kona. This Boxy Muerta, but Nisha sitting low, activates the reactive armor, and now with the Ice Path landing on a Satanic, he'll take out the Golem and start to back off.
Okay, Blink Dagger in 10 seconds if he wants to go for the Sunder play.
Gemma on the ground, and Gem picked up. Now these heroes of PARIVISION on the run. Third Roche available potentially in 2 minutes, and PARIVISION, look at that graph. It just goes right back up. And, I mean, the win probability is a huge change as well. Just a moment ago, I believe it was, what, 17%? Now it's 60%
probably like
for them.
Ooh. Kunkka has been doing a lot of work in these couple of fights. Want to see what his next item is going to be. He can get rid of that Blade Mail. He can also upgrade his Aghanim Scepter, which is not the best one, but still, in some of these prolonged team fights, could be doing a lot. Or he wants to maybe get Refresher. I think this is also a very good choice. Use your double BKB, double boat, refreshes your Rum. Butterfly on Satanic.
Satanic back to the top of the net worth. He's working right now with almost 40,000 net worth and this Nemesis curse with the Titanic enchantment. Things are starting to close in for Liquid, who had this advantage, who were pressuring the map for so long. But now without that Aegis, with that bad fight top, they're the ones kind of stepping back. Both gems taken away. Liquid now without that gem, going to have a little bit of a harder time with the Glimmer Capes and the 9-class Bounty Hunter. But Roche is potentially up in 25 seconds. And if you're Liquid, I just don't feel as though you can kind of give that up for free.
Oh, they definitely can't. Big item queued up on Nisha. He's super farmed. He's sitting at 30,000 net worth. Hex, if he can somehow get that, 1 or 2 hexes in the fight can make the difference. Satanic getting tipped by DM. Not sure what he did there.
Maybe just a long-term thanks. Clean up the creep wave, and Roche. The timer is short. It's more than 12 seconds, I would say less than 45 seconds. Saberlight up onto the high ground. They need to start to put themselves in a position to kind of set up for this Roche fight. Gem picked up by Saberlight. Ag's Blessing looking to be built here by Mickey. He'll have that Terror Wave, that extra couple of seconds on the Metamorphosis. That Obs is down, though. No one spots him. And they're going to go. They've got the Fiend's Gate. They'll find Insania. They'll drop down the Macro Pyre. They'll bring DM in. They go to the Pit of Mountains, but the Burrow Strike comes through with the Epicenter from Saberlight. The Chaotic Offering is going to be dropped down by Ducalis with the BKB pop by Mickey. He'll take the Golem out first. Puts the damage on the DM. Insania's dead, but Nisha goes in. He's locked up for a moment. Tries to get the kill on the DM. Takes out the Underlord. Satanic in the front lines with the BKB. He's timed the TP out, but they go to the Rod of Atos. It doesn't lock him up, and they kill off Ducalis. 2 kills for Nisha, and now Roche is available. We'll see who goes and gets it.
It should belong to Team Liquid. Without the DM, they do have double buyback available, but no BKBs, so not going to be an easy fight for them by any means. The Terrorblade's doing a lot. Terrorblade, if he's getting 1 or 2 Sunders in the fight, he is also very maneuverable. With Manta Style, with his Hurricane Pike, Swift Blink, Demon Zeal. Extremely difficult to catch. Satanic,
They
different side of the map.
found 9 class. He's been going back and forth on whether he wants this Wind Waker or this Hex on this Bounty Hunter. Just can't quite figure it out. Satanic was there with 9 class to potentially gank Saberlight, but with the Boots of Travel TP in from Nisha, they backed away. Ultimately, of course, 9 class ends up dying. So he's dead for 50. They all have buyback. They're not going to use it. They're going to let the Roche go to Liquid. And again, now we're sitting at a 50-50 for the Dota Plus win probability.
Anyone's game to take.
Certainly
So them
is.
going for the high ground. Kunkka doing a lot of work. And it's going to be a refresher. Item of his choice. Selling that Blade Mail. Doesn't feel like it's been doing much in the last couple of fights.
Definitely needs this refresher. Transformation hero needs to be able to get into that Metamorphosis. That's the real ult of Terrorblade, as it's always been said. Can they use this Aegis? They've evened up the net worth again. They're going to have this Ag's Blessing for the extra time in the meta, as well as the Fear with the Terror Wave. Boxy's going to want this Shrine, so he will pick it up. Saberlight's already level 26. He'll get to level 21.5. And there it is. There's the Ags for the TB. And it's Ag's Blessing, so they have the Terror Wave. They'll have the 15 seconds duration on the Metamorphosis, but he needs 1,700 gold for buyback if he wants it.
Nisha's almost level 30. Level 29 right now. Arcane Rune. So lowering the cooldown will pop it. 80 Aghanim Scepter. Getting closer to Hex. Have in mind that there's no buyback available on Mickey. Needs another 1,200 gold.
Ag's Blessing bought here on Satanic. BKB popped by TB. That's on cooldown for 90, so now all of a sudden the Roche Aegis is 2 minutes left on it after the BKB's back up if they fight then. You lose a lot of time just losing out on that BKB if you don't want to fight without it. They've also, you know, you have to have the BKB because now you've got the Wrath of Nature upgrade, which entangles.
Nisha and Mickey, they don't have BKBs. They invested everything, eating their Aghanim Scepters and also Hex. This is the big item on Timbersaw. Nisha didn't die in a very long time.
They found
got
DM.
him. Deadshot.
Deadshot coming through. That hit the Fear. They've got the Ice Path. DM's going to be dead, and he's got buyback.
I guess PARIVISION didn't expect them to take that fight, knowing that there is no BKB on Mickey. Mickey's going to use Refresher, and we'll have BKB and another meta available. They want to try to close it if it's possible. Find an opening.
Epicenter, Burrow Strike with the BKB early from Satanic, looking for the damage on a Saberlight. Takes on the banner instead.
Refreshes. So no BKB on Satanic. Nisha ready to jump in. Big Hex available.
Can he grab it? His dead shots with the Ags. The hitbox on it is just so difficult to deal with.
If they catch a glimpse of Nature's Prophet, Nisha's going to be jumping in.
These Treants pushing out. Age is still up for
Blink
2
dagger
minutes.
disabled.
Mickey, these Fatal Bonds doing some decent damage, and
They're killing
has
Mickey.
Sunder. They need to be careful. He needs to find a Sunder target. He doesn't exactly have one. They need to back off. These Fatal Bonds got him really low.
No track anymore. He can blink in. No meta for 70.
If he could Terra Wave into a Sunder, or just Sunder Insania, that's the easier of the two. Certainly the easier play there. Satanic. 55 seconds, no BKB. He picked up this Revenant's Brooch, but he's been holding it in his backpack for a while.
He can swap it in. Use a BKB. Swap that Revenant's Brooch. Has Shard, has Aghanim Scepter, as you said.
Saberlight pushing the wave bottom, but the side of Liquid, they've kind of backed away from this fight. 52 minutes in, they're trying to break this high ground. Something they were looking like they were going to do much earlier in the game, but PARIVISION were the ones to get up there first on the Liquid side. Liquid hold out, buybacks available except for the Jakiro, Bounty, and the Timber, because Hex was just bought out on 9 class. He's only 350 gold away from it, so is the Jakiro, 320. But Nisha, he's far away from his buyback.
Kunkka is always the front line, knowing that he's super tanky with that Admiral's Rum. You can't really burst him.
Meta, Tidal Wave, pulling him back. They go to the X. Nisha goes in. They've got the Hex, though. It's going to be on a no one. Burrow strike short of Satanic, but it didn't matter. He had the BKB out anyway, with the BKB be popped by no one. Epicenter rolling through. Sunder used. Mickey, though, up at the front. They've got the Chaos.
They call him into Torrent.
Oh, they take out Saberlight. Now, they've got this Terrorblade in a whole bunch of problems as he's hit with the Pit of Malice, but the Force Staffs get him out. Hex onto 9 class. They've got the track on these heroes. The Tidal Wave pulls in Boxy, but it's not over the high ground. Mickey jumps in with the blink. The damage from Satanic on the high ground with the Fatal Bonds on them. Nisha goes in, hexed up, doesn't get the damage though to get the kill. Boxy ends up dead. No one kills him off. BKB TP out from Nisha, and now Insania trying to get away. He just TP's out.
Smart.
But they lose Saberlight, and they lose Boxy.
No buybacks committed. They're playing this so perfectly. Kunkka's so tanky. That's why I said he's got to be in the front line and doesn't have to care. The damage that they do have is relatively explosive, but once that Admiral's Rum kick in, he can use his BKB. He refreshed in the previous fight, so we'll have another BKB in 38 seconds. He's doing a lot. While you see Nature's Prophet sitting in the back line, swapping his BKB with Revenant's Brooch as soon as he uses it. Tower gone in a second.
And that's him hitting it, not even just the trance with the extra damage. McKay now has Terra Wave, but he just needs to hold out. Meta on cooldown for another 30 seconds. He wants a refresher orb. The question is he going to buy out for it? When you're a transformation hero, you're more inclined to. But we'll see if he does. Doesn't exactly have a lot of slots available. Ogre Seal Totem seems to be the key to the game for everybody.
Yeah,
everybody wanting to just be a seal.
It is the best one. Getting out of trouble. This one can't be nullified as well.
I mean, it's
basically gives you a second life.
Yeah. You get to jump out, slap your stomach like a seal. You're good. Another Tormentor to be taken by PARIVISION. Maybe. 9 class. Unsure if he would survive that one, but everybody's got their shards, so 455 gold each. That's kind of no joke. That is Aghanim's Blessing now. Ghost Ship. Not the Torrent Storm anymore. Hasn't been for a while, but the Ghost Ship creates a fleet of 2 ships at the target point.
Yeah, extra bit of damage coming out from cannonballs as well. No one dying only one time in a 55-minute game, which is pretty impressive. And if he goes for a more right-click, damage-oriented build, if he chooses the other talents, I think this game would have been taking a different turn. He's the one keeping them in game. Lowering the cooldown with Octarine. Is about to crack level 28, so that 25% extra on torrent damage. It's not about the damage, it's more about the knock-up.
Also, by the way, Bounty, who obviously everybody has their shard on PARIVISION, he's got a gem, and they had taken away the gem from Liquid before, but they need this gem. The Friendly Shadow, the Glimmer Capes, the Invis here has just been a bit of an issue, especially when you're going up to the high ground.
Is very imbalanced in the late game.
Yeah.
You're running out of slots, nobody can hold the gem, you lose it. Your cores can't hold the dusts or sentries. It's not like they do most of the time, but...
There's always that joke that invisibility equals invincibility, and it's certainly true.
In the late game, it definitely is.
Everybody's got buyback. Roche is going to be a long spawn. It's about 2 minutes from where we're at this moment. So that'll put us at about 59 minutes, and if we time it out that way and we don't fight before that point, it looks like we're going to a 60-minute Game 5 bang. Pit of Malice root plus 0.4 seconds for DM as he hits level 25. Looking at the supports and what they've got, where the 25 is a little bit not that great when you're a support.
Little underwhelming.
Yeah. The Jakiro one, though, he's level 22, almost 23. That would be quite nice.
They need to wipe them for him to be level 25, though.
It could happen. There's buybacks. Refresher Orb for the Nature's Prophet. That's going to be in the backpack. He's currently 8-slotted. Terrorblade also has a Refresher Orb of his own, has an Ag's Blessing. Technically, honestly, with the Ag's Blessing, Nature's Prophet 9-slotted. Could be 10-slotted if he gets another item. 56,000 net worth for Satanic.
I don't even know what he can swap out. Right now, he's holding Titanic, extra bit of status resistance, extra bit of damage, glass cannon as well. The most damage you can get. Maybe this Hurricane Pike can become something different.
Looking for 9 class.
But he also wants to keep the distance. That extra attack range. Also a bit of a save. Amplified damage is available. Team Liquid, after a couple of failed attempts to go for the high ground, are much more careful.
The net worth lead is pretty negligible. These mid laners are pretty even when it comes to net worth. The game is pretty even overall. But the big difference is the support's gold. That's making up pretty much the majority of the net worth difference. Although that being said, it's also 7K between Satanic and Mickey. Maybe not. Kunko looking for the bots to maybe move around. Again, they do have very good pushing potential. They've got these 3x X health and damage treants to push in and force the sign of Liquid
Somebody
back.
needs to address this. This tower is dead.
The tower's gone. So now with the tower dead, you have to worry about the bottom set of racks. But the question is, are you really caring about the bottom set of racks if you're willing to go to mega creeps?
If he gets to level 30 on Nature's Prophet, the game becomes so much more difficult. Before, we can see building damage. Nobody else other than your position 1 is dealing damage. Almost 15,000 on Nature's Prophet and 11,000 on TB. Bots do. Ready on Nisha. They want to punish.
Roche available, and it's not that easy to take for Liquid, right? Like, they've gotten these past few, they'll know they're going for it, the roar will happen, they'll be disarmed. They kind of have to force that roar out with like 1 hero in there and hope to maybe get a reaction from PARIVISION. But now you don't go for Roche because you're at that 60-minute mark. Tier 5s are available. And what is everybody going to get? We've seen a lot of Fallen Skies when it comes to Tier 5s. A couple of ghost ships and some cannonballs. Very beach theme. It's time to collect those Mad Stones. Get into those next neutral items.
Magic Lamp is the item of a choice for a lot of them.
Right.
Having strong dispel once you drop below 20, but there's also some big damage numbers that could actually kill you before your Magic Lamp activates. It's a strong dispel, so that's pretty cool. I also want to see what Kanka's going to choose for himself. Does he want to go for Pirate Hat? It is a team after all. Maybe Bounty can take Pirate Hat, steal some of the gold, steal some of extra gold with his ability, and suddenly we need to pause the game because they don't have enough gold for buyback.
You're scaring me. If we get into a 60-minute game and we've got some bug, I might scream. I wouldn't be surprised if DM took something like Fallen Sky, but he ends up going into the Book of the Dead. We've seen some of these with the Titanic still.
Yeah. Combine that with Fiends of Gate. Fiend's Gate, and you also have Nature's Prophet. Once he hits level 30, I think late game, like this super late game, you have so many more plays with what PARIVISION have. You can come in with multiple heroes through the Twin Gate, teleport away.
Is this all-out push? They're all taking Book of the Dead. 3 Books of the Dead, Stitching and Desolator for Satanic.
This is it. This
Magic
is what I'm
Lamp for
talking
Warlock.
about.
They just want to push it. Look at this. I mean, this
Xmart,
isn't even level 30.
they found the combo. Somebody buy Wind Waker, or they need, there it is, immediately buying Yule Scepter to counter this.
Not going to let that happen more than once, or hope to not let it happen. So they went Books of the Dead, and then the other side, all they've got so far is Magic Lamp. BKB through the backdoor protection, dead.
Uh-oh.
Well, somebody's found out a combo.
How do you deal with this? This is a massive issue now for Liquid. You're going to have to go all in. Like, after this, Roshan, you're going to have to find something.
You Rosh here,
Because
they just
eventually
take
you're going to
racks,
die.
right?
You have Necronomicon Archers in the bottom lane. Only one neutral item found by Liquid.
9 class. Chaotic Offering, Ice Path, Terra Wave, and the kill onto 9 class. No, not yet. 33 and now.
We need multiple
Get the
cameras
Aegis on the
this.
deck. They'll get the Aegis into the hands of Mickey, but this is going to be the Rax in trouble. The backdoor protection is going to help that out. They've got the Refresher Shard down. Gem picked up as they got the kill in a 9 class. Rat jamming as they are looking top, but they've got themselves the upgraded Ghost Ship, and they're going to try and get this, but in
Melee, they got range in the top.
This is going to be Mega Creeps for sure. There's just no way.
Your base is gone. You have melee barracks, and you have melee barracks in the mid lane. Saberlight, he needs to be quick with this Yule Scepter.
Did they just... I mean, Spider Legs for TB, Magic Lamp, the other 3 heroes didn't go for their tier 5s while this was all happening.
Yeah,
here comes
trying to figure out
again.
what's the best way to deal with this rat that PARIVISION is doing.
Cheese. On a rat trap. On a mouse trap. That's how you do it. Or a little bit of peanut butter. That's how you catch a rat. But let's see if Liquid have other ways in doing so. Immediately building into that Wind Waker. Insania has a choice. Let's see what it is. Not the greatest of choices. Maybe he just goes Book of the Dead. And they've got Spider Legs, Book of the Dead, Magic Lamp, Spider Legs.
As expected, on Liquid, they want more survivability. But Satanic, he has AC in his backpack. He is 11 slotted. Every single item is ready. So if he's going for a rat play, Stygian Deso 2, AC, he's going to swap that in. Somebody needs to stay in base for Liquid all the time. Otherwise, they're not leaving the base. There is Bots 2 available on Sand King, Bots 2 on Timbersaw. Yeah, it's like you need more legs. On Sand King, on Scorpion.
You've already got 6. You're adding 6 more. That's 12 legs plus your 2 fists and a stinger. It's a lot of appendages. No one going again bottom to just push out. Has that Book of the Dead and has to send those Necro Creeps out. Boots travel 2. BKB is going to be popped here by Nisha. Saberlight has to Burrow Strike out of the fight for the moment, but the look over at 9 class is going to survive with Guardian Greaves. They've got the X on Anisha. They'll pull him back. Now, Macro Pyre is going to be enough damage. Joe Satanic for free. They've got the Pin Balance with this Fiend's Gate.
BK's dying.
Get the Aegis out of the hands of Terrorblade. Now they've got the Refresher from Saberlight, but they hit the Hex. It's on the Nature's Prophet. He's trying to run away, but now Nisha right in his face. They hit the Fear with the dead jump, and Satanic's still not dead. He's under the Glimmer. They finally take him out. That's going to be the buyback used by the Sand King as well as the Shakiro. Kunkka as well as the Nature's Prophet will die. Down goes DM. 3 heroes out of the side of PARIVISION, but none of them have bought back yet.
3 heroes dead. Buybacks are used on Liquid. Let's see how they're going to approach this. They need to run it down. Try to get those buybacks immediately out. Saberlight, Insania. They did buy back in the previous fight, but also that's Sunder keeping Nisha alive.
Necro Creeps again, but they need to force these buybacks. They need to force the other team into a position where they just don't feel so confident.
The big one is if they can get it, if they can get the buyback out of Nature's Prophet, that gives them ability to maybe go in and try to close out the game. Let's see what PARIVISION decides to do. Whether they want to go for Rat, try to go for the all-in play with Fiend's Gate, with the TP and their Necro Books, or if they want to take the fight.
Nisha TPing top. Thinking about the epicenter. Saberlight goes in, Burrow strike, that lands on a 9 class, but he's going to be able to use that Yules immediately. They go to the macro fire coming up from Insania. They hit the damage, they'll get the kill to the bounty. He's got buyback, uses it, so does Satanic. The side of Liquid, though, they force these buybacks. Do they stay? Should they stay or should they go? That's the real question in Liquid. For right now, they're about halfway out.
Now Liquid, they have the opportunity. 2 cores on their side. They have buybacks available. Meke is the big one.
These necro creeps are hitting, they're hitting in the back door. They're not doing
they're
anything.
constantly in the base, but they're not doing much. Lanes, they need to be in a good spot.
I mean, the necro creeps being there does give a bot's target for no one to go in and X and come back, kill a creep wave if he wants to. No buyback on the Sand King or the Jakiro. Down for 6 minutes. Same could be said for the 4 heroes that used it on the side of PARIVISION. Advantage Liquid in terms of buybacks available. Mike has 1,135 last hits.
Just a casual game of Dota. One quick one before we're going to bed, right?
Yeah. But instead, we're here 68 minutes. Nobody's upset. Side of PARIVISION, they rat, they jam, they try to push and end. But Liquid trying to hold on.
Even
Not
Jakiro.
up against Mega Creeps yet, though, and they do have a glyph to work with.
Jakiro has Refresher. He did buy out in the previous fight.
We saw this one sway earlier. Spirit, Maposhka, he was the one who had the Refresher
It's
on
a zoning tool.
Jakiro.
You
It is a
can't stand
huge
inside of it
zoning
and take the fight.
Nisha gonna push bottom. Having that extra dual breath range. Look at that circle. So far, you can get dual breath on people. The Ag's a big addition here for Boxy with that dead shot. He's had it for a while, but these fears have been on point.
Both supports on Liquid. Timeless as their enchantment. 15% debuff duration. Spell amp as well. Jakiro,
Disc for
he's going to be
bounty.
dealing a lot of damage.
Almost level 30 for Mickey. I'll have the other side of the talent, 25. Have that Metamorphosis duration, which is big. Burrow strike, but they've got the X. Yules,
Fought
though.
it with the Wind Waker.
Maybe they got him. No one's going to have to be popping that BKB. They get the Macro Pyre down. Ducala is forced to Chaotic Offer. And what the offer did for them is not much.
Immediately picking out the top lane. Insania's like somebody might go through there, and it's going to be
Kunkka's going.
Kunkka.
He goes, he doesn't even hit the creep wave or anything. He just summons the Necro Creeps and then comes back. That's all he wants to do. Throws them off to the side of the wave, and I don't believe Nisha saw them, so now they'll cut the creep wave. He actually hid them within the trees, and Nisha misses them, so the creep wave's gonna die here. See how important that is. Meanwhile, taking a look at these levels, we got some of these heroes getting to level 30. Supports, level 25, obviously from Muerta is underwhelming. Terrible 8 at 30. Jakiro, we saw the dual breath, but the Warlock only level 23. Bounty about to hit 25. Holding the high ground is very
Look
easy
at
for
this.
PARIVISION early in the
Big
game, but
circle.
late, so much more.
Blocks the whole entrance to the base. How do you push?
Spider legs, blink, maybe. Terra wave in. That's on cooldown for another 20 seconds. Necro creeps are in on the base again. They're not going to take it through backdoor protection, though. Banner down to the bottom lane. They're going to try and take this tier 3 and maybe get a set of racks their way. Necro creeps thrown out, but the Necro creeps are bottom. The creep wave is cut. And Malice once again. Wrath of Nature, they've got the root. Nisha's a little bit low. He's forced to BKB and back away. That's BKB on cooldown for a minute and a half.
They have no abilities that go through debuff immunity, so they could try to go for the play one more time with X-Mark, BKB, TP on Satanic. It is a risky one, considering that he doesn't have buyback available. Saberlight, he was thinking about it.
Nature's Prophet.
Oh, he's in.
Mid, BKB, and
Gone.
there that building goes. Yeah, no.
Perfect timing. I'm
of
looking
that
at the
works.
BKB. He can't believe that he got out of it.
He's smiling, he's laughing, Satanic giving a giggle.
That's the last one. Buying time, 3 minutes and 20 seconds for his buyback to come off cooldown.
Buying a lot of time, and honestly, when there's so much pressure to win this game, the fact that you're smiling and laughing is such
Yeah.
a big vibe.
something that teams have been saying when they're playing against PARIVISION, that they're taking these unfair fights, the way they're playing Dota with position 4 Slark, with this position 4 Terrorblade. This is the most unfair I've seen them go.
Terror Wave gets the fear on
Barrett
tonight
left.
class. They're going to go for no one. BKB's been
He's
popped.
had enough.
Burrow Strike. Now Chaotic offering from Ducalis. They'll go and throw the Macro Pyre down. But Satanic's in. He's got the Sprout around Insania. Throws another Macro Pyre out there. He's still alive for the moment, but they go to the Pit of Malice addition with that Fiend's Gate to lock down the 2 supports on the side of Liquid. They get the kill to both. They only have buyback available on Boxing. They look over at this Nature's Prophet. He's dead.
gone.
So is Kunkel.
2.5
No
minutes.
one's gone. Can they hold on, though?
Liquid.
3
They want to
heroes.
close it out.
They might even think about the throne, but they don't have the heroes that take these buildings that quickly. Are the Necro Books going to be enough? The Books of the Dead, can they hold it? Can they survive? Ike stand his ground. DM is here, 4 step away. Ducalis goes in. He's looking for the Fatal Bonds. 9 class now with the Hex. They've got the control. They go to the Thunder. Now DM in some trouble. He's going to be forced back, but Wind Waker, 9 class running. Deadshot lands. They've got the Hex. They'll get the kill. 9 class
No
is dead.
buybacks.
2 minutes on the sideline, but Mickey falls. He's going to be forced to buy back. Boots are traveling. They're trying to get the kill into Ducalis. They're looking over the Warlock to finish off this
Warlock's
series.
alone.
He's the only one. GG is called, and Liquid take the series.
Rats have been
3-2.
exterminated. What a
All
closing
over.
from Team Liquid.